Andrew Holness, you understand, work it that Anthony Anderson became Commissioner of Police. Now look at the next document. Let me just tick off this because I want to make sure, right, that we have everything. So in made him Commissioner of Police, right? And this is where I'm going. Now, they can't say that I am lying because I am using Jamaica Constabulary Force crime statistics. Now remember that he brought forward and said, okay, all right, Commissioner Anderson, right, was, picked from roughly a pool of 100 and odd applicants until it goes to 7, right, and they picked him from there because, of course, he's the best of the best, right? And he shaped a narrative for all of us that Google Gaga had performed well in every task. That Google Gaga had performed well in every task. Now, watch this, people. The first evidence that we are going to show that the Prime Minister is lying. Google Gaga has not performed well in every task. As a matter of fact, Google Gaga, Major Anthony Anderson, I am using the crime statistics here, failed at every task. Failed at every, as a matter of fact, he was a miserable failure. Let me show you. Evidence. Let us go to evidence number 1 here. I want to show people the evidence. So here it is. All right, we are going to go to Google Gaga. Became, let me just big it up. That I want for you the people to see very big. So let me just big it up. Okay, all right. Good. Here it is. Google Gaga. Anthony.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today is a historic day for me on my journey on YouTube. At present moment, I am live on all of my platforms on YouTube at the same time. You understand? Live on every single one of them at the same time. I'm live on Bolo, VNR. I'm live on Bolo VNR Clips. I'm live on Bolo VNR 2.0. And I'm live on Bolo VNR, no, Bolo TBV. That's throwback videos, right? I want everybody to subscribe to all of my platforms, period. That's my objective. All right, for you to subscribe on all of my platforms. My objective also is to grow all of the platforms and maximize their potential in terms of covering, what is happening, the happenings here, internationally, globally, and otherwise. Mostly what is happening in Jamaica. All right, call me bias. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I have to make sure that I stay close to home. Running away is not an option for some of us. You understand? Truly isn't an option. And I'm not knocking the persons that run away from Jamaica or go elsewhere to seek, a better life, because honestly, it is really, really challenging. We have Nene Loyal in the building. How you doing, my darling? Blessings to you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your continued support. One of my day ones right there, yeah? I want to start out the show with a reminder from the apostle to this government. You understand? Because big up yourself, Nene. They continue to, thank you for the gifts, sweetie. They continue to suffer the people of this country. Nene going crazy. Hey, it's gotta be Friday, man. Turn me up. Ryan Campbell, what's up, man? It's gotta be Friday, man. Turn me up. Turn me up, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Yeah, yeah. I think this is the video I'm looking for. Shout out to Selvanev. Pick up yourself, Selvanev. One of my honorable members. Yo, hey, Nene going crazy, man. Shout out to Nene with the gifts. Nene, hey, check out all the gifts, Nene. Don't hold back. Don't hold back, all right? Do not hold back, Nene. Check out all the gifts, mama. Check out all the gifts. All right, so let me start with this reminder here from the apostle. Is this the one I'm looking for? Is this the one? No, I don't think this is the one. It's another one. I will find it, but we see what's going on with USA's presence in Jamaica. A lot of people is talking. And I don't think they're listening to Donald Trump. I really don't think they're listening to Donald Trump. It's almost as if they have locked off their ears from Donald Trump, and I'm wondering why. Donald Trump tells you what he's going to do, you know. It's one thing about him that I like. One thing about him that I like, a lot of the times, he's going to be honest and straightforward. He's not like some politicians. He blurts out everything. All you have to do is really listen and pay attention. That's one of the things I know about Donald Trump, that I have observed. Some people over there and overseas, they might be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I appreciate you, Nene. Thank you so much, darling. Always. Salute to you, salute to you, salute to you. All right, so this is the video I'm looking for. This one. Yep, this is the one. This is the one. So let us remind the government, ladies and gentlemen, about what is to come. And specifically, Andrew Holness. Listen to this.
Good morning, one and all. This is your apostle, Elijah Peter Chambers. Hallelujah. With another word. Hallelujah. All over, I have been contacted. They're calling me. Interviews are coming. People are inspecting the prophecies, the visions that the Lord has given unto me for the nation of Jamaica. And we have all seen the manifestation. Only the evil ones from the evil territory are still saying that I'm false and I'm fake and I'm an imposter. However, that's their conclusion, that's their opinion. Hallelujah. But we've got to talk a little about the local government election and what has been happening since the conclusion. And we see where there was a fight for the KSSC that is down in Kingston. And they said that they have won, yet I think it is Winston Ennis who withdrew himself from that position and expressed that he wants to protect his character, his moral integrity, his family, etc. Then another video was done, which psychologically, those who work in the psychological realm know that either he has been threatened, because the tone of voice is saying that the last video that Winston Ennis did, he was threatened.
Antonio.
He was threatened.
Calligrapher.
I don't know by whom. For him to reinstate himself, but he's not comfortable. But the judgment, and the Lord told me to tell the leader of this land that as long as they are in power, trouble is going to follow them. Right now, What the Lord is revealing to me pertaining to this present government, that there will be constant war among them. And some of you thought that the war has been there for a very long time, but the war is going to increase among them. The Lord is going to show and prove to the people of Jamaica that he's not with this government. Somebody said, thus said the Lord. The Lord spoke to me to tell the Prime Minister of Jamaica and his Obia team that he is not with this people. Praise be to God. He's not with this government, their decisions, and the Samoa law that is signed behind the back of the people of the nation, the citizens of this land. It will be exposed. Also, the Lord reveals to me that someone is going to rise up, and this is someone that is untouchable. This is someone that has their secret, that has their corruption, that has their ticket. This is someone that will expose them in a disgraceful manner. Truth are going to be exposed, because what we see where people are resigning, people are getting sacked, people are getting fired. These decisions are very, very sticky, and even with warming time, it is going to cause a lot of bang around in the JLP party. After the election, the local government election, the Lord said the judgment has begun. The judgment has begun. Because they have stolen the election, they will experience judgment upon judgment. Hear ye the word of the Lord. And if you notice, Winston Ennis, he was supposed to swear in, and he withdrew. This is showing the level of dishonesty that this present government and the EOJ have done to the nation. And if you notice, every day you hear on the news who has lost seat, who have won seat. Until today, it cannot be concluded. And listen, it will not be concluded, says the Lord, until the Prime Minister, the EOJ, comes out and declare the truth. The Bible said, you shall hear the truth, and the truth shall set you free. People are going to die because of this lie. People are going to lose their lives. People are going to get sick. Listen, God is going to take you down. And listen, none of you can fight God. I heard some of you say that if anything happened to the leader, they're coming for me. Listen, you can't fight God. Because everybody knows that the people that God has protected, none of you can touch. And if you could remember in 2021, March 24, when CETA came for me, the Prime Minister of Jamaica signed my death warrant. And I'm not telling a lie. The allegation proves, and he can't sue me. I am the one who should be suing the leader of Jamaica. I am. The Lord said, leave him to me. I will take good care of him. Listen, thus said the Lord, your kingdom will crumble in such a way that you will wonder, what have I done to cause such judgment? The people are going to rise up against you, just as how the nation has raised against you. In the very party, in the very kingdom, in the very government, they're going to rise up one by one. They're going to rise up against you until they get you out. The Lord says, listen, you have stolen the election, and your conscience is eating you out. When you lay in your bed, leader of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, you're having sleepless nights. And this is the root cause why there's so much bang around. There's so much war among you. I heard that there's war among you with Mr. Warmington, because you declared that he's sending his resignation. which that was a lie. He came out, Mr. Warmington came out and declared that he was fired. Then there is another war taking place in Clarendon. There is another war that is going to take place in St. James. There is another war that is going to take place in Portland, St. Mary, St. Thomas, St. Catherine. There will be turmoil among you, says God, until you come out and declare that PNP have won. And I, the Lord God, will prove to the nation that I am against this present government. And I, the Lord God, is defending the PNP party. It is going to be proven. I know some of you are going to be upset, but listen, you all are in witchcraft. You all have signed yourself to the Baphomet. You have sold yourself to the devil. You all are grandmasters. You're assigned to the lodge. The Bible said that you cannot pour new wine into dirty bottle. How are you saying that you know God and you're affiliated with God, yet your hands are tied with the devil? Psalm 37, the Lord says, declare the scripture. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like a grass, and withered as a green herb. Thus said the Lord unto Holness, your kingdom will crumble right before your hands. The Lord gave me a vision and showed me in a vision where you're crying, tears streaking from your eyes, because God is going to take you down in such a way that, listen, you're not going to die like the others. God is going to punish you greatly because of the sins that you have done to the nation, the sins that you have done to Jamaica, land we love, the sins that you have done spiritually. And all of those who are on social media that you paid on a regular basis to oppose the voice of God, those who are mocking, the Lord says, I, the Lord God, will mock you. I, the Lord God, will mock you. Listen, even if you call the election this year and next year, it will be a bang around. The people are going to get rid of you. You can hear the cry all over Jamaica. We want you out. You and your wife out. Imagine, your wife is the speaker of the house, which means you don't want no one to talk. You don't want no one to criticize or to introspectively criticize your governance, and you have placed the God order on everyone. Listen, God says, I have placed a God order on you. And every very one of those who have defended you, who have supported you, when you fall, when your kingdom crumble, they're going to crumble with you. Thus say the Lord. And all of those who are barking and hissing and saying that I'm false and I'm fake and mocking the voice of God, thus said the Lord, you will go down miserably. Listen, it doesn't matter what you do. I have placed in the heart of the people of this land to rise against you because you refuse to repent.
All right, my people. May I do some recon work while Pastor talk. See if I find what I look for. I just want to address something real quick and get it out of the way. Because it's quite insignificant, you get me? So I just deal with it first. That's not the substantive issue.
Since the next time I had an opportunity, so I bring it here. We're still in the recovery phase from Hurricane Melissa. The People's National Party has courted donations from individuals on behalf of that effort. Is it the intention of the opposition to make available to the public what has been collected in terms of the quantum and what that sum has been used for in the spirit of accountability?
Well, the People's National Party has this will prosper. They're waiting to get some of that.
So, yes, we have put in place a structure, created a new structure after Melissa, with a a national disaster, as a chair, accounting for will be prepared. I would say is that procurement means that the money, that procurement, that those resources in Black River, not from, say, nepotism potential, and so I'll try their best to hold are held accountable. But I realize that media output that need to be deal with this thing. And the only credible is there that warrant further assassination matter.
All right, so I'll take the first and the third, and the party leader will speak to the issue regarding the permanent secretary. So I'll say again what has been said by Mr. Golding, and that I repeated. Mr. Golding had conversations with the named individual. He was given certain assurances. Mr.
All right, so that's another one. Let me see if I hit this.
The media house you represent, and proceed with your question. If you prefer to read that, and we'll take them. Morning, the members of parliament. Occasions at
But every time it rains and she's suffering. I'm sure there are many, many cases of that nature. So it needs to be reopened. It needs.
Said that it is the big.
But you're not going to see the economy bouncing back the way it should unless there's a program of support to stimulate activity at that level of the economy. That should be a priority. When you talk about 6.7 billion US of resources that you're trumpeting that you've raised, and yet you're spending 60 million US on housing when the housing stock of the country has been perhaps the biggest asset class of damage, largely uninsured. That shows that, to me, a lack of care and concern and poor policy judgment. What are all these resources going to be used for then? What about the infrastructure of the country, of the cash and kind that we were able to raise for Melissa support, and how those funds were expended? And if there are any questions on the details of that, they can be directed to our treasurer, Keisha Anderson, who provided that accounting. I'm calling on the government to provide full and comprehensive accounting for all funds received from donors since Hurricane Melissa. I know that diaspora groups are anxious to see an accounting for all the funds that they provided through the government portals. I myself participated at the request of Minister Grange in a telethon to encourage people to give through their portals. There has been no proper accounting for any of those resources. In fact, what we have seen is fundraising events. I can think of one in Florida where funds were routed through a US NGO with which a minister of government has an association. I can't see how that was an appropriate way for handling hurricane relief, where the government of Jamaica is part of the promotion of the event to raise funds. And I hear the Prime Minister is up in New York to beg more resources from the diaspora. I hope that whoever is there will demand of them, of the government, of him, a fulsome accounting for everything that has been received so far and how those funds have been utilized. And I would just close my little intervention now by saying what you can see from the way this government is operating is that they're in la-la land. The level of destruction and sufferation and deprivation in the areas which were affected by the hurricane remains real, and all we can hear is high percentages of this being restored and that being dispersed and so on. But the impact on the people's lives and the residual suffering that people are facing is not being addressed.
Exactly.
Morning again. I have Liver and Barrett, the Gleaner, thanks. Dr. Campbell indicated in his.
They don't know if it is half, if it is a quarter, or if it is just a couple more left to be done, or how many. And that, I believe, it is the transparency, and we were to get.
As it stands now, the Auditor General's report focused on the University Hospital and their administrative weaknesses and issues arising therefrom. So there was no direct judgment as to the conduct of anyone else. However, we know what has taken place so far. It was in that context that I thought it appropriate, especially since there are ongoing investigations, I think, by the Integrity Commission, that the action which has been taken should be taken. In terms of and I'm pursued, and will help to guide my decision-making going forward. But that was...
Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Trust me. Something very important me I search for. Very important. And it's so funny, some of the things he's saying right there, it actually applies to right now. Government has failed the people miserably, man.
Mr. Golding to speak about the permanent secretary issue, since you've raised that, but we want to refocus to the main issue. Thank you.
On the third question, and we're going to be doing the necessary things that we need to do to make sure that next time round we cross the table first. In terms of the second issue, my concern is that the permanent secretary in a position that lasts for the connected are not known to have any kind of political affiliation or connection, because they have to serve success affiliation or connection at the time in a democracy such as ours. And that is the reason why I objected to this particular appointment. It was in our former position. It's nothing to do with to just slide away. At the end of the day, we're just governed entirely by opportunism and what suits the power interests of those who hold power. We must protect the democracy that we have and not take it for granted. Surely international events show the importance of that. And that is why I said what I said in relation to that specific point.
All right, we want to thank
I raise it to say to you that the government, you've heard, has given a directive that they are recommending that you give 100,000.
There are also engineers and other assets that are available. It's supposed to be mobilized and supported so that they can be the ones that are the conduits that then work with the community leaders in the communities and ensure you have broad coverage, you have complete information, or as close to it as possible.
That isn't sparking.
As yet.
How will they deal with this issue? There are roads that are being prioritized that they're low in population versus roads that are traversed regularly and used by a wider number of persons. I'm told that the total constituency budget under the program is approximately
Their findings are and what their recommendations are.
The second, and MP Vaz with the third.
Thank you for listening.
Or support families in distress of accountable and con, we will present and please go ahead and do so. Please indicate by a raised.
Morning, I'm Jamila Maitland from TVJ. Program has that is what are they saying? And the two
locations at
Easy now in the rooster.
The 18% constant government
Returning to robust levels or achieving. I can't say returning because we haven't had robust levels of growth. Housing program being rolled out now. These are critical things. Small business support program being rolled out now. 6 months pass. Time come to see some progress in this area. The people need it. And you're already seeing the signs of social dislocation with people starting to block roads in various parishes and so on in frustration. As the cost of living happens, you can only expect that people are going to be more and more frustrated. Well, it's a very serious situation which needs to be addressed. And the next hurricane season is almost upon us. And that is how we're going to be entering it, with our house not in order at all, literally.
All right, with regards to the question about the I don't have much information because we are awaiting.
And think of one in Florida where funds were routed through a US NGO with which a minister of government has an association. I can't see how that was an appropriate way for handling hurricane relief, where the government of Jamaica is part of the promotion of the event to raise funds. And I hear the Prime Minister's up in New York to beg more resources from the diaspora. I hope that...
Sad.
I'll go first. So many have been wondering
2023, and we're getting that on. That is when the minister intervened, a legitimate and bona fide attempt by a pre.
Please use the raised hand icon. We will acknowledge you. If you wish to speak, you'll be acknowledged and you'll be permitted to go ahead, or we can read a message.
Good morning. My name is MAGNITSKY Robinson. I'm from TVJ News. My question is for the opposition leader. Mr. Golding, the medical company owned by
from Nationwide News. The matter raised by my colleague, have you actually raised it with the chairman of Regency, that's Dennis Gordon? Has he given you an explanation or an answer regarding the allegations raised?
Just want your recent with suffice wrong official not literal.
Recognizing Zara Burton online, please unmute and go ahead with your question.
Off, suffice to say, he knows my position because my position is not new.
As the leader of the opposition said earlier, we are not in any position to confirm or deny or substantiate, be irresponsible to bring information that is injustice of the people they lack on.
That I would ask is the next time I had an opportunity, so I bring it here. We're still in the recovery phase from Hurricane Melissa. The People's National Party has courted donations from individuals on behalf of that effort. Is it the intention of the opposition to make available to the public what has been collected in terms of the quantum and what that sum has been used for in the spirit of accountability?
Well, the People's National Party has always been very transparent and open with our financial accounting. Annually, that is published, audited financials, and I'm certain that this will form part of that process. In the meantime, we urge the government to be transparent and candid and to tell the nation what they've done with the millions they've raised in the name of Jamaica to build back constituencies, such as South St. James. We're still waiting to get some of that.
And when they make their findings, we will address them. Address that involved, matter develops.
They will speak to the Ita Golding, and that I repeated assurances, parties
means that will depend on what the chips are. On the third, through a process of we will add up the forging of, and we're going to be doing, we cross the tape first. An institution in the civil service, permanent care of that individual norm, but traditional politician, because they have confidence of the government of the, and that is the reason why I objected to this called in our form of position. Important. Take away democracy that we have and not take it for granted. Surely international events show the importance of that. And that is why I said what I said in relation to that specific point.
All right, we want to thank the members of the media who took the time.
I raise it to say to you that the government, you've heard, has given a directive that they are recommending that you give 100,000 to each beneficiary. I have not been able to do so. I have taken the decision that I cannot choose who should benefit.
I wanted to have the elected representatives of the people in the constituencies that have been extremely badly affected to have the chance. I wanted
million isn't enough based on how many people in the constituency are affected. I know that there was a suggestion earlier in terms of a fixed figure. You said it was off the cuff, it was 50 million. But in terms of, given the different characteristics of the constituencies and the different amount of persons affected, do you think a fixed figure would be more relevant, or would it be based on the constituency?
I don't think in this situation it's sensible or realistic to have a one-size-fits-all basis for allocation. All constituencies have some needs.
I think those are the three communities you had mentioned. In terms of since then, what can you say about the level of water that's in those communities, and how are the constituents that live there, how are they doing right now?
All right, firstly, let me clarify that Lethe was not one of those areas marooned by water. Chigwell, the water continues to rise.
More thanks through the ministry, speaking to Minister Samu.
There are also engineers and other assets that are available. It's supposed to be mobilized and supported so that they can.
So I was trying to find. Nene says hit the like button, good people. Thank you, Nene, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Alethea, how you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, man, let them know. Smash that like button for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I was looking for a question that was asked by Oceanwide to Mark Golding about his statutory declaration. I am searching for that video. I'm searching for that.
That isn't sparking.
Yeah, I'm searching for that video, right? And it's one of these press conferences that they did. And they didn't do a lot of press conferences. And I believe it was before that press conference, I believe. It's not this, because this was when they were in, is it this? No, I don't think any of the media houses was here. This was a PMP. Yeah, no. Oceanwide was not that particular one in Westmoreland. They don't care about the Westmoreland people, you know. Enough to go. Has Oceanwide been to Westmoreland? Have they shown anything that has happened to the people there? Have they advocated on behalf of the people there to say, you know, I think we need to do more? Have they done that? I don't remember them doing that. But hey, did I expect them to? No. So I guess they're doing exactly what we expect them to do, right? Defend the government. This was November when? November 3rd. I guess I'll just have to look, yeah, man. I guess I'll just have to look.
Shelter needs of the people, and even the food and water needs. The MPs cannot be the sole solution. We don't have the capacity to deal with housing needs on that scale. That needs a...
We are go hungrier, and a hungry man is a hungry man. So.
Our justices of the peace and all who serve as stakeholders at the local level must have a seat at the table.
It doesn't permit of one answer per constituency. There is, however, and they're looking at a $3 million for issues to do with but we wait. Let him respond there.
And we'll take another question from the room. Committees put together by the government to deal with the aftermath of the hurricane. The leader of the opposition addressed that, I believe. No, I was advised that I need to deal on unmute and go ahead with your question. Then we'll take another question from the room.
Go ahead.
From the room.
18 degrees north. I'm wondering just generally, I have another question, or are there certain rules holding you back?
Okay, so for members of parliament who have returned, you might or might not still have CDF funds remaining.
And if you do, it may or may not be accessible based on what it was programmed to do. So there are specific procedures to follow to be able to get funds to do mitigation works. And if you did not have a mitigation fund set aside, then you wouldn't.
Demand for zinc and other roofing materials. So I've written to the CDF to ask if
I think you may have used a different term.
that have been affected. With the Haitian migration outdoors, their areas, they have water and proper,
which is significant across the world.
I also want to ask, does the People's National Party as a party can source assistance for the people who needs help? And of course, Comrade,
engaged in clearing our main roads so that it's time to empower.
And make the relief supplies available for distribution. And we're putting in a structure for this with an accountability element, because we want to account for every dollar received and every item received and distributed. And the treasurer of the party is helping to design this. She has been managing this process for the past week, and we're bringing on additional human resources to give support so we can have a robust mechanism for anyone who wants to assist through our portal. Now, I gather that there's some thought among the government that they want to stop anything coming in other than through ODPEM and the state system. I would caution against that. I think that people have their preferences, donors have their preferences. Let us not deny any Jamaican in need the opportunity to receive a benefit which a donor would be inclined to provide for them through a particular channel by saying everything has to go through the state channel. I think there should be coordination. I think we should collaborate and share information, as long as that is on an open basis and there's genuine sharing of information. But I don't think we should just restrict this whole relief to one channel, because that is going to result in people not benefiting as much or at all from what is available. And so I encourage the government to rethink that, if that is indeed the way they've been thinking.
Okay, let's try.
So I'm not finding it, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody know where I can find that particular situation? Anybody know where I can find that video where the personnel from Oceanwide asked Mark Golding about his statutory declaration, about it not being they haven't released it for this particular year? And I believe Mark Golding's answer was that maybe it has something to do with that. He doesn't know for sure, but maybe it has something to do with the fact that the Integrity Commission is short-staffed and they have a lot of stuff going on, right? The reason why I wanted to play it and to give context to that situation is because Oceanwide put out this: young Jamaica is demanding Mark Golding account for why his 2024 statutory remains uncertified by the Integrity Commission. In response, Golding says he signed off on a summary and is unsure of the holding up in the gazetting. That's what he said. He signed off and he's unsure of the upholding. Why would they demand of Mark Golding to account when Mark Golding has done everything to the Integrity? Why didn't they go to the Integrity Commission and ask them? You know why? Because the Integrity Commission not going to come to them and tell them nothing about the people in business. When it's tabled in the report, and if anything to the table is tabled in the report or it's gazetted, so they just have to wait. But you know what amazes me is Andrew Holness' statutory declaration has not been certified for 4+ years now, and we have not heard any pressure from the young arm to say, you know what, Andrew Holness, you need to resign from our party because you're making us look bad. Look at them trying to hold Mark Golding to some account when not holding their leader, Andrew Holness, to any account. The disrespect to the intelligence of well-thinking Jamaicans all around this country is incredible. And for those who actually support the Jamaica Labour Party, they really think that you guys are dunces. They really think y'all are some real dunces, bro. You guys are taking this distraction when $1.44 billion out of $1.44 billion, only 1.8% was spent. We heard what Zulika just talked about the justice system the other day. We listened to Peter Bunting's speech. We listened to Anthony Miller about logistics. We listened to with a good bridge in the name. Oh my God. Dr. Alfred Dawes about health. Right? And you guys are going to have a PhD in minor issues as Mark Golding statutory declaration. Let me tell you why Mark Golding's statutory declaration would be unimportant. Because he's not spending nobody money. Let me say that again. Mark Golding is not spending the government. He's not responsible for our tax dollars. That's why it wouldn't be important. You know, I need to make this official. Ladies and gentlemen, blessings. I do a video really quickly. Because you see, Ocean-wide is diabolical, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Young Jamaica demands Mark Golding account for why his 2024 statutory declaration remains uncertified by the Integrity Commission. In response, Golding says he signed off on summary and is unsure of the hold-up in its gazetting, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. Andrew Holness' statutory declaration has not been certified since what, 4 years ago, 4+ years? Why haven't they said to Andrew Holness, well, you know, you're embarrassing us. You need to tell the people why you're not certified. And you need to resign. But Young Armour Jamaica has not done this. And furthermore, why would it be important to pressure Mark Golding about his statutory declaration when he has a track record of being certified? One. Secondly, he's not the Prime Minister. He's not responsible for anybody's tax dollars. Don't you guys know that he does not control the purse? He's not the Prime Minister. So why would you pressure him but not pressure Andrew Holness that is responsible for all of these trillions of dollars? The most money NARA is going to control and direct the most money ever. And he's uncertified. But you Ocean-wide choose to distract the people from all the problems. Zulika just mentioned the justice system. All the issues that is going on there. You have Chief Justice saying, listen, these people are unreliable partners. I mean, aren't you guys embarrassed? Do you have no shame? Then you have the healthcare sector. Dr. Alfred Dawes exposed all of that in his speech, right? Then you have logistics. Anthony Hilton came in his sectorial speech and showed you how this country is way behind where logistics is concerned. Peter Bunting talked about what is happening where business is concerned and economics. You understand? I mean, so many issues are happening. And all of the answers is that it's NARA. But yet you see Andrew Holness put him alleged cousin in position. And I heard nobody in Ocean-wide say, wait a minute, this is unjust, this is nepotism. How can you put your alleged cousin and your close friend? All of the things that the government is doing that they should be focused on, that would make the people of Jamaica actually be in a vulnerable space to not get justice, to not get fairness, potential of crime and corruption at an all-time high based on the track record of the government. But Ocean-wide, you guys choose to not say anything. You are a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I just give them 3 minutes out of my time. I give them enough of my time already, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into other business. Condolence system, I didn't matter who for it, you know. Let me just say that right off the bat. I don't know if you guys have watched the, before I go there, so let me look at this. This is in the star. I can't sit and watch my picnic die. Dad fights to save daughter from rare cancer. Pray for this man, ladies and gentlemen. For 4 years, Westmoreland, why is there shorts and things moving and everything like that? Okay. For 4 years, Westmoreland father Nickel Green says he has lived in a cycle of hope, delay, and worsening fear as he waits for medical referrals he believes could save his 9-year-old daughter's life. His daughter, Nikara Green, was diagnosed in 2023 with stage 4 alveolar soft part sarcoma. Wow, a rare and aggressive cancer that affects soft tissues and in some cases spreads slowly but persistently to vital organs. According to the U.S. National Cancer Institute, soft tissue sarcoma accounts for only about 1% of all cancers, and ASPS represents an extremely small fraction of those cases with roughly 80 diagnoses usually in the United States. He said, I finally get to send Jude a video go viral. He said, I just feel like crying, and they are telling me everything to do now. They are going to write a letter, so now I am looking for embassy dates. He said, Green said Nikora's first began complaining of severe abdominal pain when she was about 5 years old. At the time, he said repeated visits to the doctor did not reveal anything seriously. They just gave her Panadol and a little pH. Damn, like they don't even know what they're doing. According to him. Alright, so this man clearly is looking for some help, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if there's any number. The nurse tell me say 30 million up front. Damn! We need one number for him. Where's the contact? Need a contact. This man need help. Where's it? Only if me a scammer or drugs, we could have find that. I am a contractor. So the man is a contractor. That's the end of the article. No contact number for the man. What the cleaner go on? How would the star go on with? So the man never asked for help. Well, that don't make no sense. He need a whole heap of money to save him daughter, to get him daughter surgery. Wow, I was looking to find a contact. I don't see any contact in the article. Why don't I pray for that bridge on my side and in daughter? See, now, Marlene Malawu Fort, I don't know if this man is her father or her husband. I don't know. Former Court of Appeal President Ian Fort dies. The reason why I connected this man to Marlene Malawu Fort is that the cleaner put her beside him in a picture. So let's read.
Discover more. Newspaper advert. Former Court of Appeal President Ian Forte dies. Updated 8 hours ago, 1 minute read. Retired Court of Appeal President Justice Ian Forte has died at age 89. The Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, in expressing sadness at his passing on Friday, described Forte as a distinguished jurist whose contributions helped shape Jamaica's legal system and wider Commonwealth jurisprudence. The governing party also extended condolences to Forte's family, particularly his widow, Marlene Malawu Forte.
Well, there you go. It's her husband. So he's 89 years old. Condolences to Marlene Malawu Forte and their family. Let's continue.
Forte, Member of Parliament for St. James West Central and former cabinet minister. In a statement, JLP Communication Task Force Chairman Senator Abka Fitz-Henley described Forte as a legal luminary whose light shone brightly for many years in positively advancing his country and the wider Commonwealth jurisprudence. We are grateful for his contribution to Jamaica and the region, the statement said. Justice Forte was not only an eminent jurist, but a humanitarian who approached people he came across with kindness, thoughtfulness, and sincerity. Justice Forte enjoyed a legal career spanning more than 5 decades, and held some of the highest judicial offices in Jamaica and across the Caribbean. He served as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions from 1977 to 1988 before joining the Court of Appeal, where he served from 1988 to 1999. He later became President of the Court of Appeal, from which he retired in 2005. Justice Forte judicial service also extended across the region. He served as a judge of appeal in the Cayman Islands Court of Appeal between 2004 and 2011, and was appointed to the Turks and Caicos Islands Court of Appeal in 2014. During his tenure on the bench, he was awarded the honor of Order of Jamaica. Justice Forte also served as a member and panelist of the Financial Services Commission Appeal Tribunal in Jamaica.
So that's so that the man they're well known, right? Now we know the taxi fares are go up, ladies and gentlemen, and there has been a lot of conversation around that. And there's a lot of confusion too, because of course anything that Daryl Vaz is a part of, or the Jamaica Labour Party, there's going to be a lot of confusion, right? Correct? Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Really appreciate that. We still have some more work to do, ladies and gentlemen, over by Bolo VNR 2.0. Just lock it, man. No, man, I said just lock it. Sorry about that. My apologies. Why, watch a protest are going here, so? Mighty God. Some things are going in the news that we have to look for, ladies and gentlemen. Alleged fraud uncovered. Yes, that story is serious. See that in the news too. Employee arrested for fraud. Where the taxi man in there? Where is the taxi man? What is? I thought for the beaches them. So we never cover that story there. See it at transport, yes. Yes, see it at. And then the brother. We now come off of Shane Darling, Me still not see no resignation notice for Shane Darling, So so that's unacceptable right now. But make we listen to what the man might deal with on the transport side.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. Transport operators across the island are again expressing concerns about the recent fare increase announced by the government. The phased 8% increase took effect yesterday, with another 8% to be added on July 1. However, the transport operators say it is merely a drop in the bucket as gas prices continue to climb. Here's Kalisha Williams with that story.
An emergency meeting between taxi operators in Norwood St. James Wednesday morning following Tuesday's announcement of a fare increase for public transport operators. At the top of the agenda, ensuring they're all on the same page when it comes to the amount passengers will pay for diverting from their main route.
Drivers them are trying to come together on one accord so that everybody can agree what the turn-off fares are going to be, because we have to set the turn-off fare. That means turn-off means when you have the main route, that's on the road license, and it goes from point A downtown to terminal point up here at Paradise now.
But overall, after waiting 3 years for the increase, the operators say they were hoping it would have been more than 16%. In some cases, it will just be an additional $40 per person.
Yeah, we are here debating about the taxi fare because the gas price increase every Wednesday, and it's a hectic thing for us as a driver.
President of the All Voice Route Taxis Association, Lorraine Finnegan, put things into perspective since the global oil tensions started to impact local gas prices.
In March of this year, it was costing our operators between $5,500 to $6,000 to top up a Probox tank. it was costing fully $7,000 to full one of the Vaxi or the Honda step wagon. These are referred to as the 7-seaters. Presently, as we speak, it is $8,600 to full one of the Probox, and it is $3,200 to full one of the Vaxis or the Honda step wagon.
While they say they understand the economic challenges also being faced by commuters, they say transport operators are being disproportionately affected.
This increase will not see a benefit to any of the operators. It will just cover costs. It barely can cover costs. So we will not take home any more money. We will not be able to buy another bread. Simple, just to offset some of the costs that is already there in front of us. So really and truly, we should be getting an increase now.
However, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz had indicated that the decision is final and stressed that some taxi operators were already overcharging passengers before the increase was announced. Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
Hey, Darrell Vaz, I want germs, you know. Miss Genesis, how you doing? Hear this man, Celine, what's up? Celine said, Bolo, $50 more upon the fare, 350. Lady J Wagwan. You hear Darrell Vaz? Darrell Vaz, I say, yo, uno stop make up on the nice. Stop talking. You guys were already raising the fears. What can go so? How does that equate to the realities? Brother, the reality is this. The money is not enough. The reality is this. The people are suffering. So the legal amount that you have put on the fare, the taximen are saying it's not adequate. The roads are terrible. So that is really messing up their vehicles. I'm just trying to show you how this government really is, you know. And Miss Genesis, you'd be happy to know that I'm live on all platforms. Every single platform I am live on as we speak right now. There's not a lot of people over by Bolo TBV. But you know, it's all good. We're still live on our platforms. So it's on record. You see me? Trying to get back in the algorithm on Bolo VNR. Lady J says, so why them getting an increase? He bamboozled them. Listen man, this government is the give you just a little government, you know. Nothing they do is adequate. Listen, they are so corrupt, they are so about themselves that nothing they do for the people is adequate. Nothing at all. I'm telling you. So you hear it from the horse's mouth where the taximen are concerned. I mean, it's crazy, man. But hey, you know, hey. Choose Jamaica. That's what they chose.
A section of Long Lane in St. Andrew will be temporarily closed this weekend to fix a recurring breakaway that has been claiming tires, front ends, and motorist patients. The National Works Agency, NWA, says the road will be closed at 10 p.m. on Friday to facilitate extensive work in the area. Jamila Maitland reports.
Vehicles come to a crawl.
Jamaica, the road is so bad that they have to close the roads. How much more roads you think they're going to close? I'm just asking. How much more roads in Jamaica right now do you think is worthy of being closed? I think there's a whole lot more, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's a whole lot more.
Almost daily along a section of Long Lane in St. Andrew, not because of traffic, but because of the hopscotch motorists have to play on the bad road. Those brave enough slowly cross it. Good intention from motorists, however, is how others are able to proceed. Member of Parliament for St. Andrew North Central Delano Seabright says a contract was awarded by the National Works Agency to fix the area.
They have been complaining about their vehicles being damaged, serious accidents along the corridor that have led to serious injuries and I believe fatalities in the past. And there's a view that if we don't address this problem, it will only fester.
Motorists, as well as people who live and work in the area, say there have been several road repairs to this very spot on Long Lane. There have been several accidents too, and even more near misses.
This has been fixed about 4 or 5 times already, and each time it gets worse. I mean, a lot of people have lost their front.
Why did they cut off that part of what the man said in the video? It has been fixed 6 times already, and it has gotten worse. That to me is a failure of the government. Who are they using to fix these roads? The contractors being used. Like, there should be some type of assessment to say, listen, right now, this not working enough. So we need another method. Because the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting to get a different result. How can we reward failure? How can we just be okay with these types of failures? 6 times? You mean the government that told us about being innovative? This same government? And being cutting edge? And you know, this facade as if they are the ones that know how to do things the best. Right? And they have the blueprint of what, then what they show us. How much money did you guys waste to fix this road 6 times and then have it get worse every time? It means the 6th time that you fixed it, you didn't actually fix the problem itself. You didn't identify the problem to say, okay, when you fix something, it's fixing up. And it appears as if it's a short period of time this fixing has happened. According to what the man has said, let's listen.
Appears to this very spot on Long Lane. There have been several accidents too, and even more near misses.
This has been fixed about 4 or 5 times already, and each time it gets worse. I mean, a lot of people have lost their front end around here, but that's the accidents. I personally haven't seen, I've heard, but I haven't really seen what I know. The holes that have been created by this issue.
And I want to say this to the mainstream media. This area, you can basically say, this is not so bad of a road comparing to the other roads in Jamaica. You know? And I want to also speak to the people that are living in the areas where the roads are even more terrible than this. Every day you should block the road. South St. James, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, St. Anne, St. Mary, all of the places in the country that you know your road. Only if you block the road every day. I was listening to Mystic Sensation earlier. Big up Mystic. And I called in and said, Jamaica, we need to ban our bellies. And we just need to plan. And for 2 weeks straight, this is my, he said 2 weeks straight, we should not move and do all those things. I want to put in detail. I think we should even lock off our light. Turn off the breaker, Jamaica. Turn off the breaker for 2 weeks straight. Oh, my son, pull off a Cuba without any sanction. You see how long USA have Cuba in the space, the way they have them? They are using paper and water instead of liquid cement. Miss Genesis. Yo, what is going on, man? What's happening?
That is funny, honey. That's funny. Oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah, I'll never forget the day I was watching Miss Genesis. Queen Candy, what's up? I'll never forget the day I was watching Miss Genesis and she laughed like that and I said, yep, I'm taking that. Yep, that is contagious right there. Let's continue. So yeah, we should definitely do like 2 weeks, no movement, don't take no taxi, don't leave your community, conserve, pray, fast, all of those things for 2 weeks straight. Yeah, man, we should do it. We should do it, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Turn off everything. Suspend your internet. Yeah, man, suspend your Wi-Fi, man. Tell them, say, listen, take this back. Can't afford the bill. Can you imagine if Flow customers was to say, you know, yeah, I can't do this. It's too much. When are Jamaica gonna get serious? It's getting to that point, you know, in terms of the harsh realities of affording to just have basic stuff, you know. I think we should preempt them and just stop everything. Yeah, I still have it, Miss Genesis. I still do. It's not a drop. It's just you. Anytime I see something funny, man, I gotta play that. You know what I mean? Either that or I play the baby laughing. Where's the baby? Oh, sure. I gotta put the baby on here. Where's the baby? How's the baby laughing too? Yeah, I need to put the baby on there, right? Let's continue.
Really causing a lot of damage to people's cars.
Ray Gascoigne, a resident for over 30 years, says the community wants a permanent fix to the problem. Communications manager at the NWA, Stephen Shaw, says this time around, the work to fix the area will be much more extensive.
Investigations that we have carried out indicate that the subsurface, which is expansive clay, continues to be impacted by water from the hills. And so anytime that clay material becomes wet, it lends itself to significant failure. So what we have decided to do is to excavate this space by removing all of that clay material, or most of it.
Matcon Construction is the contractor. A representative from the company told the TVJ News that work is expected to start on Friday night. Road closure is at 10 p.m. It reopened 3:30 a.m. on Monday. Motorists are being advised to use the old Stony Hill Road. He said traffic signs will be placed in the area to guide motorists. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Then Jamaica. It's because I want JLP representative why this happened so quick. So more ask NWA a question. How comes you guys never did the research, the scientific research that you mentioned about the clay and all of these things and it being impacted by water? You mean the 6 times before that? You guys didn't think that was something? You see, I told you, you know, they are now assuring the people that when we do this one, it's going to be a proper fix, right? No, that's what they said. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I am saying, how confident they communicated that. Why didn't they do that before? What, you didn't have they didn't have the information at the time? This is a new type of information that they couldn't have research and source to find out why this road was just, every time you fix it, it just damage. You know what I mean, Antonio? Like, I don't understand. But anyway, I'm going to move on. These people are something else, man. These people are something else. Listen to Andrew Holness here, so ladies and gentlemen.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness revealed that party residents will be relocated. He was speaking at the NHD Malvern Housing Development handing over ceremony today.
So the people in St. Elizabeth party, you mean the place that they want to build a smart city, right? In St. Elizabeth. You mean that place, the people will be relocated. Andre Stevens will say, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for what is to come. And for what is to come, be prepared. Hey! Mighty God!
Battered by storm surge and rising sea levels during Hurricane Melissa, the coastal community of Party has been left vulnerable, its future now uncertain.
Your brothers and sisters who are on the coast in Parity, an area that was badly damaged, which I toured, which is quite clear that the cost of reconstruction there would be quite higher than the houses that you're trying to save.
The government has made it clear that the area will not be rebuilt as is. Instead, residents will be relocated in a phased process aimed at protecting both lives and livelihoods.
We have already indicated to the people of Parity that that area has to be relocated. And we will do it in such a way that their livelihood will be preserved, the value of their asset will be preserved, but most importantly, their dignity will be preserved.
Central to that plan is the deployment of 2,500 semi-permanent modular housing units purchased by the National Housing Trust at a cost of over $29 million.
These units will form the basis of the government's response for persons who must be relocated from areas that have been significantly damaged, or for persons who have lost everything and are not able to rebuild.
St. Elizabeth is expected to receive the bulk of these units, with designated housing clusters already identified. Authorities say relocation will not happen overnight, but through careful consultation.
If this is the reason you...
Well, there you have it. They will be relocated according to the Prime Minister. You know, it's going to cost way too much to save that place than it would cost to relocate them, according to the Prime Minister. It should be interesting to hear what plans he has for that particular space after persons are relocated. Pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen. Moving right along. I don't have much to say about that.
Welcome back. Continuing the news, scores of ganja farmers in Westmoreland took their first step towards becoming regularized today. Kimberly Petty has the details. Over 500 ganja farmers in Western Westmoreland were formally registered on Thursday in an initiative spearheaded by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The farmers are overjoyed as many have prayed for the day when they'll be able to farm without any fear or harassment.
Today, in my whole life, it is a revolution. And this revolution becomes the true substance of eyes and ears. And I give thanks to the MP.
Ian Hales, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, was instrumental in today's registration drive.
The regulations under the Cannabis Licensing Authority has changed, where more Jamaicans can now sign up to do what they did illegally. They can now sign up to do it legally. It is important. A vast majority of my constituency plants cannabis, ganja, or marijuana, anyone you want to call it. So what we are doing here today, because the regulation has now changed, what we are doing here today is registering all of the farmers in Western Westmoreland.
Mr. Hales said recently there were several police raids resulting in large quantities of ganja being seized and then burned. He added that the harsh reality is that ganja is a part of the economy.
I'm tired of seeing people going to jail daily. I'm just tired of seeing people just running all over the place from earning a living. I want to ensure after all this process is over, we can ensure that the citizens of Western Westmoreland, can go home to their family every single evening and you don't end up in a jail cell. I want to thank Minister Arbin Hill and I want to thank the CEO and even the board of the CLA for ensuring that farmers across Jamaica, not just Western Jamaica, can do this in a legalized environment.
The farmers are hoping that this registration will open the doors for bigger things to come.
We're looking forward to something good to come out of this, and this is a good start, but the question I would ask is that when you have all of these farmers producing ganja, how are these ganja going to be sold?
He noted that access to international market is not easy, and therefore he is suggesting that an extraction facility be established in the constituency to extract byproducts which are more marketable on the international scene.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. That man is old and he is wise. Remember, this government is the government that gives you with one and take away with two. So, Mr. Arbin Hill, we are on a wait and see thing to see how this is going to go. Yes, man. Because these people are very good at PR, you know. And obviously, you know, Mr. Ian Hills genuinely is happy because, you know, it's a good start. However, let's see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a low trust environment. Rightfully so. The government of Jamaica has not given us any real tangible reason to trust them based off their antecedents for the last 14 out of 18 years. Remember, the previous government before Portia Simpson Miller was led by the JLP, Bruce Golding, and when he was kicked out after the Tivoli incursion for some months, I believe it was Andrew Holness. So, the last 14 out of the last 18 years, the antecedents of this government has given us no reason to really trust them. But let's continue. We got the farm of them. Critical questions asked. And of course, I really hope it works out, you know, honestly, you know. But I just can't shake the feeling, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot shake the feeling that the people are being bamboozled in some capacity. I just cannot shake that feeling. But like I said, we will see. We shall see. Alright? Let me see if there's anybody over by Bolo VNR that I missed. We have 4 people watching. That's dope. Like and share the video over there, guys. Okay, only Ryan and Selvanev said hello. Shout out to Selvanev and Ryan. One of my day ones, Ryan Campbell, and also Selvanev is an honorable member of Bolo VNR 2.0. By the way, those on Bolo VNR 2.0, do remember that the membership option is available. You can gift people memberships on Bolo VNR 2.0. You can also send gifts. You can send super chats, or you can choose to become an honorable member of the platform and enjoy all the wonderful perks that are there. All right, and for the members, I want you to show off, you know. Yes, show off the emojis, show off your badge by commenting in the chat. Don't be quiet. Low trust environment. Damn. Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, Miss Genesis, you know you need to be responsible for my merch. Yeah, we need to work out some type of deal where you would be the person to manufacture those things or deal with everything, the logistics, sending it to people overseas, all of that. We need to get a contract, Miss Genesis, so you can make some money and I can make some money. I would love to be a partner with you. You understand? Real talk. Yeah, because you have ideas, one, you know what I'm saying, and then hey, can use the platform and we can advertise same, and that would be a good shirt right there. So I know you're always coming up with good ideas, always. Yeah, my number, we should get it done quickly because some other people was asking me about merch. Here you go. Some other people was asking me about merch because I have a signature about how I dress with the pullovers. And of course, the ladies always be calling me teddy bear. So I think we can work out something where that is concerned. You know what I mean? Some type of graphic, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, man. You know what I mean? Hey, we'll talk, Miss Genesis. Make sure you call me, Miss Genesis. We need to get this done. Let me know. Let's go. You heard? Let me know. Yes. Let's continue.
Kimberly Petty, TVJ News.
And in a statement this afternoon, the CMU said the alleged fraud was uncovered through its internal monitoring processes. The university says it has fully cooperated with the police in their investigation. President of the CMU, Professor Andrew Spencer, said the matter reflects the effectiveness of the CMU's governance and oversight systems, which are designed to identify and address issues through the appropriate channels.
See,
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us.
And a special welcome to viewers on OneSportMedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
We begin up first this evening. We begin with the news that an accounting and customer service officer employed to the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, has been arrested and charged following an investigation into alleged financial irregularities involving students' funds.
Kevin Anthony Panton was charged yesterday following an investigation by the Financial Investigation Division, FID, and the Special Investigation Branch of the JCF.
Prince Moore reports.
In a statement today, the FID said it commenced an investigation into a case of fraud at the CMU involving nearly $2 million after the leadership team of the institution alerted them to an alleged fraud at the university. The probe resulted in the apprehension of Mr. Panton. He has been charged with 14 counts of fraud, including embezzlement, engaging in a transaction involving criminal property, possession of criminal property, facilitating a transaction involving criminal property.
Hey, we have to remember something, you know, if the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. Remember, so we have an uncertified creature as the Prime Minister, you know. Please, for the last 4+ years. So what you think? Fraud are going to be like a normal scene at Jamaica. And we are seeing it happen. Now the Caribbean Maritime Institute, Caribbean Maritime University, I say it? Yes, Caribbean Maritime University. Mighty God.
Probe resulted in the apprehension of Mr. Panton. He has been charged with 14 counts of fraud, including embezzlement, engaging in a transaction involving criminal property, possession of criminal property, facilitating a transaction involving criminal property, falsification of accounts, and conspiracy to defraud. He was granted station bail in the sum of $700,000 and is scheduled to appear before the St. Andrew Criminal Court on July 6. The CMU said it detected irregularities in November 2024 during a period of system downtime at the university. During reconciliation of cashier closeout reports against bank deposits, it was identified that $970,000 had not been lodged. Further investigations indicated that the funds were later returned or lodged by Mr. Panton. However, the sequence of events remained inconsistent with expected cash handling practices. The university said additional concerns arose during the January 2026 examination period when students presented manual receipts for payments that were not reflected in the university's records. This triggered a formal investigation into manual receipting, banking, and receivables posting processes. The investigation revealed that the sequence of manual receipt books had been broken and that several receipt books remained unaccounted for. A total of $1.7 million could not.
Pause. Did you guys hear that? Proper receipt books were unaccounted for. You see, I probably need to do a reaction to this. Real talk. I really do. Yeah, I probably need to do a reaction to this because the point that I'm going to make is a very, very serious one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the platform. It's your brother Bolo VNR, and I want to carry this story and to make a point regarding the story, right? I want you to listen to this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us.
And a special welcome to viewers on OneSportMedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
We begin up first this evening. We begin with the news that an accounting and customer service officer employed to the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, has been arrested and charged following an investigation into alleged financial irregularities involving students' funds.
Kevin Anthony Panton was charged yesterday following an investigation by the Financial Investigation Division, FID, and the Special Investigation Branch of the JCF.
Prince Moore reports.
In a statement today, the FID said it commenced an investigation into a case of fraud at the CMU involving nearly $2 million after the leadership team of the institution alerted them to an alleged fraud at the university. The probe resulted in the apprehension of Mr. Panton. He has been charged with 14 counts of fraud, including embezzlement, engaging in a transaction involving criminal property, possession of criminal property, facilitating a transaction involving criminal property, falsification of accounts, and conspiracy to defraud. He was granted station bail in the sum of $700,000 and is scheduled to appear before the St. Andrew Criminal Court on July 6. The CMU said it detected irregularities in November 2024 during a period of system downtime at the university. During reconciliation of cashier closeout reports against bank deposits, it was identified that $970,000 had not been lodged. Further investigations indicated that the funds were later returned or lodged by Mr. Panton. However, the sequence of events remained inconsistent with expected cash handling practices. The university said additional concerns arose during the January 2026 examination period when students presented manual receipts for payments that were not reflected in the university's records. This triggered a formal investigation into manual receipting, banking, and receivables posting processes. The investigation revealed that the sequence of manual receipt books had been broken and that several receipt books remained unaccounted for. A total of $1.7 million could not be accounted for from the manual receipts reviewed. Of that amount, $552,000 has since been returned, leaving a current deficit of $1,149,500. Mr. Panton and another employee were placed on suspension in January 2026, and a report was subsequently made to the FID.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What can go so?
I want to turn our focus to the Jamaica Labour Party and how they manage our funds, our tax dollars. I want to turn our focus to the many Auditor General reports, right, that has told us about trillions of dollars that's been unaccounted for, right? And you see, I am highlighting this for those persons that say that because the government uses this narrative, that, oh, it's not really, it's not that the money was stolen. Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys hear what is happening with this particular case? Money was unaccounted for and now money is returning. Now, let's just say that some of these monies that are unaccounted for walked out of the ministries, the particular ministries of government, and those monies were used to benefit persons within the time period it was unaccounted for. And then the money is returned. It's not that the money never used in Jamaica. The money was used between the time because there's no real-time audit. So the money is used between the time. Nobody knows that the money is... I'm giving you a scenario, I'm showing you how dangerous it is to have trillions of dollars unaccounted for. And then people try to brush it off as if, but the money never stolen. Same thing with the $1.44 billion with the 1.8% of it being used, and they want to tell us that, well, it's not that the money is there. It's not stolen. Right? There was a situation with one of the banks in one of the reports where the 150 million US that was given to JPS is concerned. That bank allegedly, I think I snapped, was in some type of financial woes. And because the money sat there, the bank could use the money because they would know, and this is a hypothetical again, the bank could use the money because they know the money allocation would not be going on at the same time when the money was lodged. So that money sitting in the bank, that 150 million US dollars, 24 billion Jamaican dollars, that money sitting in the bank helps the bank to give them leverage to get themselves back on their feet. So the question, and that's a hypothetical. So there was a question being asked, what is the relationship between the government and the bank? Or what is the relationship between Darrell Voss and the bank? And then you're going to have people saying, oh, this is conspiracy theory. Why are you guys so... Conspiracy theory is just a way to say you don't want to think of the possibilities of how money can be stolen from us. We're not saying the money was stolen, no, we're saying there's a possibility that You could lodge money in a bank, a large amount through the government. The money sits there, knowing that the money will not be moved at the same time, because you're not going to spend 150 million US dollars just like that. That's a lot of money. So the longer the money sits there, it gives the bank leverage. Persons who work in the bank know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why they encourage people to save their money, and that's why the banks don't like when people withdraw their money too. But they don't want to tell you that, but they really don't like when you withdraw your money, because they want your money to stay so they can use your money to facilitate other things, right? And so they can make money from your money. Period. So if a bank is in trouble and the government can give them an olive branch and say, yo, that's the bank we're going to use. Zane, you follow me, you know? And this is a hypothetical situation. I was listening to Mark Golding. In terms of the funds, in terms of the donation in the particular overseas for Hurricane Melissa, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly, isn't Arjun Marks the one that runs the entity that the monies went to for donation? For those ticket sales of that event that they kept overseas? Isn't Arjun Marks the one? Isn't it her company? And Mark Golding was questioning, yo, like, what's going on? Right? And to use the company, she's going to benefit in it. Why did they use Arjun Marks if she's the one that actually owns the company? That's what you would call a sweetheart deal. The more money comes through the company, the more money she makes. Why they couldn't use an independent entity? This government is comfortable with nepotism, right? If it is indeed through her company, and I'm just showing you, Andrew Holness put his wife as a Speaker of the House. They are comfortable with corruption, ladies and gentlemen. And you, the people of Jamaica, if you are not uncomfortable with trillions of dollars being unaccounted for, Auditor General Pamela Monroe handles audits regarding unaccounted for or mismanaged funds. In Jamaica, widespread concerns were raised by governance watchdog JAMAICA regarding 3 trillion of public funds that was unaccounted for across 16 government entities. So when you hear that money is unaccounted for, I am doing this video to tell you, you should have your alarms. You know, when a dog, a watchdog in your house, on your yard, that protect your yard, and you see ears go up like this, once your ear unaccounted for, you should be deeply concerned. What you should also be concerned about is that this particular government, the Andrew Holness-led government, is so comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, with money being unaccounted for. It is like a DNA in their runnings of the government. It's nothing. Tell me, what have they done to fix the problem of monies being unaccounted for? When they talked about 3 trillion, that was like a couple years ago. You know? We don't know how much more now is unaccounted for across the same 16 government entities and ministries. Ministry of Health, Education, Labor. I am of the view that this is how they steal and rob money or use those money to benefit themselves and their families. That's my view. I don't have any evidence of that. This is how they fill their pockets. In my view, I don't have any evidence of that. But God is not sleeping, you know. God is not sleeping. And I'm doing this video to say to the people of Jamaica, wake up. Wake up. When you, I'm going to play the video again. When you hear unaccounted for, do not take it lightly. It's not a tagline, but they never steal the money. That don't mean them steal the money. It's just unaccounted for. They just don't have a receipt. Then if you send your pitney go shop and they give your pitney $5,000 and you tell your pitney, say, listen, I want you buy 2 bun and I want you buy a bottle of water, 1 bread and 1 pound of rice, and I want you buy 2 mackerel, zine, and 1 hot sauce, and then come back with no money. And them say to you, but mommy, you know, see a $5,000 it costs? That's what you mean by it's called the money is unaccounted for. Underspending the money, not giving a receipt and then wanting us to believe that just trust us when we tell you that the money was used for what we said it was used for without a proper receipt. What the hell can go so?
What can go so?
So let's get back to this particular fraud situation at the CMU. Listen to this.
After the leadership team of the institution alerted them to an
Crazy,
alleged
bro.
fraud at the university.
Crazy.
The probe resulted in the apprehension of Mr. Panton. He has been charged with 14 counts of fraud, including embezzlement, engaging in a transaction involving criminal property, possession of criminal property, facilitating a transaction involving criminal property, falsification of accounts, and conspiracy to defraud. He was granted station bail in the sum of $700,000 and is scheduled to appear before the St. Andrew Criminal Court on July 6. The CMU said it detected irregularities in November 2024 during a period of system downtime at the university. During reconciliation of cashier closeout reports against bank deposits, it was identified that $970,000 had not been lodged. Further investigations indicated that the funds were later returned or lodged by Mr. Panton. However,
So Jamaica, when and this is a possibility, the man used the 970,000, right? And do what he want to do with it. Probably whatever him do in the space of time that it was not lodged and then return back the money. But whatever he did could potentially earn him double that money, triple that money. You understand? And that is a scenario, ladies and gentlemen, of how skullduggery can be done. Dishonest, unethical business practices. And this government is the unaccounted for government. Dangerous. Dangerous.
sequence of events remained inconsistent with expected cash handling practices. The university said additional concerns arose during the January 2026 examination period when students presented manual receipts for payments that were not reflected in the university's records. This triggered a formal investigation into manual receipting, banking, and receivables posting.
So what happened here, no? He made a mistake. And the mistake was caught. But whatever he did before, the damage was done. And this is where Auditor General comes in when the Auditor General audits stuff. They made a mistake. That's all, you know. They made a mistake. And now she's like, oh, wait a minute. So what's going on here? But there's so many mistakes in where the government is concerned. It's really not a mistake. It's them not really caring. And then nothing really happens, right? In the Ministry of Health, that individual just walked away in the sunset and was never charged. No criminal charges. So we have these people working in such a way, ladies and gentlemen, that they are so skillful and so good at what they're doing that they see the loopholes, use the loopholes, benefit from it, and then walk away scotch-free. And this is why the Integrity Commission is getting so much fight from the Andrew Holness-led administration. Because they are the anti-corruption agency that if they hold the government officials accountable, that particular accountability is going to trickle down to all the other minions that is connected to them or work for them. So that's why they fight them. But God on time.
Processes. The investigation revealed that the sequence of manual receipt books had been broken and that several receipt books remained unaccounted for. A total of $1.7 million could not be accounted for from the manual receipts reviewed. Of that amount, $552,000 has since been returned, leaving a current deficit of $1,149,500.
And Jamaica, all you have to do is go and listen to. Remember what Rosie said about the monies that they allocate in the area, in the constituency for roads. How much money she said that the MP take from the contractor. Should the money allocated. I'm just saying, and you wonder why our roads are not fixed properly. Right? Skimming off the top. Grabbing. And that's what Rosie said. I don't mean to say so. But I'm just showing you an example. Right? Just showing you an example, ladies and gentlemen. And that reminds me, these people have the audacity. Donovan Williams is still in Parliament. And then Young Jamaica coming talking about they are demanding the answers from Mark going about his statutory declaration. The devil is a liar. You know what? Let me end this reaction here. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, I can't say me never want to know. Can't say me never want to know. Selvanev, what you deal with? No more if you move to something else, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't think we highlight, or I don't think I highlight, let me speak about myself. I don't think I highlight the People's National Party enough. I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I want to highlight Dwayne Vaz. Dwayne Vaz has gotten a lot of criticism and a lot of flack. And, you know, it's nothing wrong with getting a lot of criticism. It's how you respond. And if you guys pay attention to his social media, you realize recently in Parliament that Colonel Charles Jr. threw a stone at him. You understand? Saying, oh, instead of going on social media and highlighting these things, come to us, let's talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the devil is another liar. Because Andrew Holness' approach when he was in opposition is to go directly to the media and burn out the People's National Party. You understand? For any little minor thing. And of course, Dwayne Vaz has been highlighting some major issues. Let's read.
Last few days. And this is because of the Spark program has been all over the news in the last few days. And this is because of the deteriorating conditions across the roads in Jamaica. People have been asking what has been happening with the Spark program. From our perspective, the Spark program has not been delivering the results that we have expected.
Why do a country
Roads were chosen in each constituency, but the amount of roads that have started since this announcement has been very minimal. In my own constituency, 10 roads were chosen through a consultation. Only 3 have started, but none is yet to be completed. Work orders have been issued for others, but yet the designs have not yet been done. The issue was complicated when the CEO highlighted to Jamaica that the roads were chosen before the estimates were actually calculated. What this means is that many constituencies will have submitted roads where the value of these estimates far outweigh the amount of money that has been allocated to the constituency. So for example, you would have heard Dr. Dayton Campbell complaining the other day because his total estimate is over $1 billion when the amount allocated to the constituency is only 300 million, which gives a shortfall of over 700 million. This is the same case in the amount of money that has been allocated to the constituency. So for example, you would have heard Dr. Dayton Campbell complaining the other day because his total estimate is over $1 billion when the amount allocated to the constituency is only 300 million, which gives a shortfall of over 700 million. This is the same case in many other constituencies across Jamaica. And it begs to highlight the deficiencies in the entire program because there is no way you can submit the roads that you're going to do before you set out an estimate, because the estimates have now outweighed what is actually allocated, which means that not all the roads that were selected in some constituencies will actually be able to be done in this phase of Spark. So the minister must take responsibility for what has happened, and they must correct it as they go forward. We have heard talks about phase 2 for Spark. We're still not clear on what is happening because what we understood from the beginning is that community roads will be done first and then main roads will be done after. The Spark allocation was set to be completed by a certain time. We're seeing in the budget where it should go up all the way until 2030. So there are lots of discrepancies in the program. There are a lot of differences in what the minister has said, differences in what the NWA has said, So what we're really calling for is some real clarity and some real solutions to the problems, because the people of Jamaica were very enthusiastic about the Spark program. They have now been disappointed because people are realizing that the Spark is really not sparking. Thank you for tuning in to Power Talk Mondays. See you again, same place, same time next week. One love. Today, when all persons in shelters across Jamaica. Today is Friday. Today is Friday, May 8th, the day when all persons in shelters across Jamaica should be moving to suitable location based on what the minister said. Well, we are here today, and the minister made some pronouncements yesterday that the deadline has been met and everyone has left the shelters. But what the minister is not telling you is that the promise that was made is for persons in the shelters at Petersfield to be relocated to suitable location at the site that we are standing right now. This is where the 50 houses are supposed to be put, where the government has said the houses are here in Jamaica. But as you can see, the only thing that has been done so far is about 6 bases have been built. No sewage put in, no water put in, so therefore the site is definitely not ready. This was a promise made by the minister to the residents that were staying at the Petersfield shelter. So they are disappointed again. So the pronouncements made are simply not true. Missed deadlines after missed deadlines is what we are seeing here at Petersfield as we speak right now. Even yesterday when the persons were being removed from the shelter, the place where they are being put was not ready. This was at the teacher's flat beside of the school. The place was not cleaned up. No electricity was there. No water was there. The persons had to move by themselves, had to lift up the mattress and carry them head over to the place. They had to clean it up themselves. It's actually when they were finished cleaning, that is when the fire truck came to assist. When they already got a power wash to clean up the place. So it showed that this was just a last minute decision. It was a hurried move to get the people out there because they wanted to say the real promise was really to move them to suitable accommodation. And that accommodation was referenced to right where we are standing at this property in the Shrewsbury area. So this again shows up the minister, and the minister must take full responsibility. It shows the level of incompetence from the minister. And I'm calling on the Prime Minister to step in right now and assist to ensure smooth transition for these people at the shelter so they can have dignity and pride in where they're staying. It was just this morning when we spoke to them where somebody had did some work and got them the light last night, got them some water, but there are still some issues where the electrician still needs to come back today to try to remedy the issues. The toilet bowls in some of the places not working. So it is obvious again that the place was just not ready. It was a hurried move just to satisfy what they had said earlier. So we're calling out the Prime Minister. Please assist the residents at the shelter in Shrewsbury and get them to where was promised to them. Another issue highlighted by the residents when they went there to clean up, rat infestation. And all over the property, rats left, right, and center. And if we're being serious, right now we are talking about the hantavirus. And people across the world are scared. Jamaicans are saying they're scared. The ministry is saying we should be prepared, and they are prepared. But imagine having this virus threatening Jamaica right now and threatening the world. And we're sending persons to a place that was not properly cleaned up before the persons went over there. Is this how you care for the persons of Petersfield? Today is...
Welcome to this edition of Power Talk Mondays. Today we'll be continuing the conversation about the Petersfield shelter and the relocation of the persons who were staying there. We did an interview last week. We also did a release stating clearly that the government was obviously not prepared for moving these people on May 8th. The minister came out and stated that the May 8th deadline was met. We rebutted that by stating clearly that the deadline was not only about moving them from the shelter, but about moving them to suitable accommodation. That suitable accommodation was the site where the houses were supposed to be built. 50 of them, 20 in the first phase. But when we went to the site, nothing basically was done. Only 6 bases were built. There is no sewage, no light, no water. Nothing has been put in place. So obviously this site will not be ready anytime soon. When we talked about how they move the people from the shelter, sending them next door to the teachers' flats, and when they went there, the condition the place was in, rat infested, filthy. The people had to clean it themselves. And we spoke about this, and it seemed that the minister is upset. So he came now with a release. And his release, I was really surprised and disappointed when I saw the release, because he made some absurd statements by asking me some questions that obviously the minister doesn't realize he's the one who should be telling me about these things. He asked me about the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation and why they have not paid.
Yo! Whoa. What's going on? Yo!
That is funny, honey. That's funny. Oh my God, that is funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, these people are so diabolical. They have the job. They boast about being the one in power. They have the job. But when it's time to do their job and they fail at their job, they want to blame the People's National Party. And they should what? Come up with answers when you are the one that have all the resources and all the answers. These people are seriously diabolical, man. Let's continue.
In the contract.
Crazy, bro.
Minister, the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation falls under the Ministry of Local Government and Community. Obviously, the minister doesn't realize he's the one who should be telling me about these things. He asked me about the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation and why they have not paid the contractor and stuff like that. Minister, the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation falls under the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development that you are the minister for. So why are you asking me these things? You went again to talk about the roof program and just state that I have 2 avid supporters who got $500,000 each. I didn't know you were going around and canvassing the shelter to see who is PNP or JLP.
Right there, sir. So, him expose himself, you know. Dwayne Vaz did a great job exposing the Spark program. Also exposing the fact that Desmond McKenzie exposed himself. Why are you guys canvassing who is PNP and JLP to say 2 of your supporters got relief? You should be telling us how much people get relief in total. Not that they're PNP. To show you all this nastiness, you know. It's plain politics here, you know, them germs here, you know, what we have as elected officials, you know. I don't know about them being elected officials. These thieving officials, because we don't know say, that the election there was stolen. Right? But they are recognized as elected officials. He's coming to tell us that. Tell the man that, oh, 2 of your avid supporters got help. Did they need help? Were they damaged by Hurricane Melissa? So what if they're supporters of the People's National Party? Why was it important for you to highlight that? In some type of defense of being criticized for not doing your job. These people are the weapon that is formed against democracy. I'm telling you. This is the same man that said, we will not surrender Jamaica to the People's National Party. Don't forget already? This is the man that came. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to find the clip. And I did not hear it when I was listening to him, because I really wasn't listening to him. All I was hearing was when he went to talk in a parliament the other day upon his speech. That's all when I hear. One language I can't understand. Zine, but somebody highlighted something and I went play it. Let's continue.
Because we have not been doing that. So I don't know who get funding from who don't get funding. Remember that this was not done by me. This was done by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. They went out and did the assessments and they are the ones who made the recommendations. It has nothing to do with the Member of Parliament. So why are you trying now to make this issue a political issue? By stating that I have avid supporters and by stating that the PNP leads the parish council. We know that the PMP leads the parish council, but what does that have to do with what I'm speaking about here? I'm really disappointed in your response, and your response cements the point I made earlier about the level of incompetence you're showing in this situation. You need to get up and do the work or shut up, because at the end of the day, it's the people who are suffering. And we will continue to speak on behalf of the people until they get what they deserve and what was promised to them. What you promised, what your government promised, was suitable accommodation for the people who were still at the shelter.
That's
and
right.
that is what we want to see.
That's
so
right.
we're looking forward to seeing what was promised. We're looking forward to the delivery on that promise in a timely manner. Thank you for tuning into Power Talk Mondays. See you again, same place, same time next week.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to all listeners. Let me begin by making it absolutely clear that the People's National Party is in no way or form trying to undermine the Spark program. What we're about is accountability and delivery. The people of Jamaica deserve to see real, measurable outcomes and not shifting narratives. And what we have been seeing since the Spark program was announced, continuous shifting narratives and delayed outcomes. So we really need real answers as to what is really happening. And the problem really started from the beginning. And as was stated by the CEO, E.G. Hunter, the roads were selected before the estimates were actually done. So when you put this into context, what really happened is that you have an allocation for Spark. You decided that each constituency should get a particular allocation, which was $300 million at the time. You also stated that constituencies should choose 10 roads. So when the roads were selected, what should have been done, the estimates should have been done at that point in time. So some priority could have been put in place. So persons could know exactly what was happening and how many roads could actually realistically be done. And what could have happened from then is that persons would have chosen roads that could have fit into the particular budget. But what we're seeing now, we're seeing constituencies, for example, in Eastern Westmoreland, where Dr. Dayton Campbell spoke of earlier, was that his roads, the total cost was actually over $1 billion. But the allocation was 300, which means he has a shortfall of 700, which now makes it difficult because now they have to prioritize as in how many roads of the 10 can actually be done. So what we're seeing in some constituencies now is that 10 roads is a impossible situation. Some may get 6, some may get 3, some may get 2. We don't know what the situation is at the particular moment. And the minister continues to change the narrative as he goes along. Because even at the Standing Finance Committee, he continued to say that it will be 10 roads. But in his last statement, he declared that it's going to be 6. So what is it? Is it 10? Is it 6? Is it 3? We don't know what is happening. And even my own constituency, where work has started on 3 particular roads. But when we spoke to the contractors, because work orders were issued for others, they advised me that those work orders, even though issued, no designs were there for them. So I'm trying to figure out how can you cost a road without having the design? Because the design should be done first before you can know exactly what will need to be done on that particular road for you to have a costing for it. So the entire thing has been messy. It has been in shambles. And the government just needs to come forward and explain to Jamaica exactly what the truth is and how we move forward from this. There have been other complaints from other members of parliament, especially about the worker compensation situation. And the minister seemed to have just thrown it or brushed it under the carpet. He's asking for proof. But what I'm asking the minister is that what kind of proof are you asking for? There is no formal system that these persons are being paid through. So they don't get pay slips. They don't get direct deposits to their account. Most of these persons are paid in cash. So I'm not sure what kind of proof the minister is asking for, but he cannot just throw it under the carpet because these are legitimate claims. And remember,
so Abka fits only one proof, ladies and gentlemen, when he knows that the people them get paid by cash. So when they make a complaint that they are not getting paid, it is the concern of the people, them, right? You can't, what proof? There's no formal piece of paper like a stipend to say, see, it proves that I paid them. So you can't prove, say, you did pay them, and them can't prove, say, them get paid. So how we're going to move forward? You're not going, the people are saying they're not getting paid. So if they don't get paid, the work won't do. And then who suffers? You see what they do, Jamaica? Let's continue. You see, they lie by omission, you know, and them use craft. The government is a craft government. You understand? Let's continue.
These are our people who are out there working on this program, and our people are the ones who are suffering.
Yeah.
So the government must stand behind our people and ensure that it is fair with whatever compensation
that they are getting. That's right.
In closing, I want to say the government continues to speak about politics anytime they're asked to be accountable. And I've noticed this trend from this minister. I've also noticed this recently from the Minister of Local Government, where whatever you ask for, they try to twist it to be politics. Well, we're not about politics when we're speaking of the people, because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that transparency is there, that we have proper accountability for the resources that are being spent, and we want the people of Jamaica to be the beneficiaries of whatever is done. Good morning. Welcome everyone to Power Talk Mondays. And today we'll be looking into that incident that happened in Granville, Montego Bay yesterday, where a woman was fatally shot by a police officer. The video has been circulating, persons have been commenting, and the general consensus is that this woman was murdered in cold blood. We don't know the conversation that was happening between the policeman and the woman, but based on the video evidence, I can see what would have led him to fire to kill in that particular instance. And it's really heart-wrenching because people are supposed to feel safe when the police comes around. And incidents like this causes the trust level between citizens and police to continue going down. It is already low. And for this to happen, it will continue going down. And there's a major issue we're having in Jamaica when, yes, murders are going down, but police killings are continuously going up. And it really begs to wonder why this is really happening. And it is clear that not everyone who is being killed are persons of interest, are persons who are involved in criminal activities. Innocent people are being involved with what is happening. And it brings back a conversation where people are talking about body-worn cameras, because if there is nothing to hide when you're going into a combat situation, for example, or whatever situation, why would you not want to wear
a body-worn camera? Make it
and
make
the
sense.
security minister have stated quite a few times that he does not think it is necessary, they should not wear it. But evidence continues to appear to show why they should wear it in order to increase the level of fairness whenever we have issues like this. And the people of Granville must be upset, must be disappointed in the actions of the police officer. And persons in Granville and in Jamaica deserve justice. We deserve the truth. So we really want this situation to be thoroughly ventilated, where the process can take its course. They have already started the process, but we really want it to be done swiftly so justice can be served. And as I said, by looking at the video, it does not look good. I can't make a conclusion as to exactly what happened, but what we're seeing on the video, it really does not look good. It looks like a serious case of unprofessionalism, first of all, by the police officer, because I can't see what was there for him to shoot, to kill, as was done in this particular instance. So persons in the police force, you have to understand that your duty is to serve and protect. And situations like this does not indicate that people can be comfortable with that motto, that you are serving and protecting. So people, what do you think? What do you think should happen? What do you think actually happened because, as I said, in my opinion, it really does not look good on the part of this police officer, on the part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Thank you for tuning in to our program today, and see you again same time next week. One love, one love.
And I said Nesta Morgan. It's I said Apcaf it's only, but it's Nesta Morgan, ladies and gentlemen. So Nesta Morgan with the Spark program. Desmond Mackenzie with the shelters. All of them need to be held accountable. And we are calling for the resignation of these people, you know. We're calling for the resignation of Andrew Holness. All of them. This level of incompetence has to stop. You understand? Ministry of Labour. Mr. Masia.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here standing in front. It is time for the word on the street. And today's program will take a different twist from our normal word on the street programs, because the word on the street today, the actual word on the street, is about the solidarity program. The same program where persons were signing up to get that $20,000 one-off grant. But what have we been hearing in the news now? People are asking every day, how comes they have not received this $20,000? We have not been able to give them the answers until now. Now we are realizing what has really happened. The government was supposed to spend $1 billion, but yet $770 million has gone back in the coffers of government for debt reduction, going back to the consolidated fund. So this means many people out there who were anticipating getting this one-off payment will not get it, because the government has taken back this money, using lame excuses that they did not get the desired registration. 18,000 people they said registered, only 11,000 would have got. But yet the program was designed to register 50,000 people. So how comes you're saying now only 18,000 applicants came in? That is because you gave us limits. MPs were given limits. When we started to register persons, we were told we can't register more than a certain amount of people. So that is why you would not get your full allocation. But that is obviously the strategy that the government was using to register less people so that less money would have been dispersed. People, you need to really look at what is happening with this government. Every single program we're looking into has certain questions that they must answer. And this solidarity program, as we speak right now, they must come out and explain to the people of Jamaica, why was it done like this? Why so many people would have registered to get the $20,000 and they did not get it? Why so many people would have wanted to get it but were not afforded the opportunity to register because we had limits? 50,000 people I said it was designed for. Only 18,000 were registered. Only 11,000 reached. $1 billion was allocated. Only 200 plus million was dispersed. If this is not strange in our society, then I don't know what is strange. So this is the word on the street today, and thank you for tuning in. And remember, going forward, send us your pictures and videos of any infrastructure needs that you know deserves the attention. It is your word from your street. Welcome everyone to this edition of Power Talk Mondays. And today we'll be joining the conversation about those donations that the government received that they have not spent. And it's really disturbing, because when I think about how many persons are here suffering,
mighty God,
months after Hurricane Melissa.
Talk true.
A lot of them don't have any place to sleep, no decent shelter. But yet we are hearing that the majority of the nations that came into this country have still not been spent. What kind of government do we really have?
My goodness.
What kind of uncaring and selfish
wicked man
are we seeing right now?
Wicked brother.
It is unacceptable.
Of course.
For persons to move around quickly, gather their stuff, get the donations here in Jamaica, but still the government has held on to the majority of it. This cannot be anybody with a clear conscience and a clean heart.
True.
Because people out there really need the assistance.
Really need the help, brother.
What will happen again to persons who want to assist and know what is happening in Jamaica. This will definitely deter people from wanting to contribute if they think their contribution will not reach to the people that it is supposed to reach. So we're calling on the government again. The resources that you collected for the people of Jamaica,
use them.
Please let them have it.
Let them get it.
It must be able to reach them quickly and transparent. If the intention was to do this, I am sure it would have happened.
All right.
Jamaica, it is for you to decide what you think is happening with this one. Thank you for tuning in.
Boy, I'm glad to me I do that reaction because this brother not get enough credit in the parliament. Good night. Vian, how you doing? This youth are not get enough credit for this thing on the Power Talk Mondays. Because all the people don't really follow the social media, right? For the MP them. And the point they make a while ago is a sound point and a logical one. Let's continue.
Dwayne Vaz here, your Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland. I just listened keenly in Parliament to the Minister's presentation, that is Desmond McKenzie, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, because I was waiting to hear a date where the persons who are staying in the shelter would be moved to the location that was stipulated for them to move in the Shrewsbury area. Remember, I did a video there on the 8th of May, the deadline day when persons were supposed to leave. And I was criticized by the minister for being mischievous. But yet today, in Parliament, he could not give a timeline. He said as soon as the bases are finished. And we have just moved on from 6 bases, I reported, to 10 bases now.
Jamaica, this is the Flintstone government. Way back in the idea, they cannot put a time on projects that they're supposed to do. Especially when people are in need of help, right to blouse and skirt away. You're going to tell the man about as soon as the bases are finished. You don't have no projection based off of how fast people are work and the allocations them that you have put in place to let us know, yeah man, see it there, I eat this. What kind of nonsense is that?
Even though the first phase should have been being mischievous. But yet today, in Parliament, he could not give a timeline. He said as soon as the bases are finished. And we have just moved on from 6 bases, I reported, to 10 bases now. Even though the first phase should have been 20 and the total is 50. So we're still not hearing when the persons will be able to live in these houses that were promised. And this is still unacceptable because the hurricane has passed over 7 months now and the persons in the shelters are still have nowhere to go. The new hurricane season has started. People are wondering what is happening. And also remember that it's not only about those in the shelter, it's about the total amount of persons that they are planning to move to this site. So as we stand today, 10 bases are there, no sewage still put in, no water put in, no light put in.
What?
When is the date where the persons will be able to live in the houses that were promised? You have set the whole. It's only about those in the shelter, it's about the total amount of persons that they are planning to move to this site. So as we stand today, 10 bases are there, no sewage still put in, no water put in, no light put in. When is the date where the persons will be able to live in the houses that were promised? You have said the houses are here. What is taking so long? Why the infrastructure is not yet put in place? The minister needs to answer these questions immediately and let people know what is happening.
All persons who came on.
Jamaica, this is what they don't want Dwayne Vaz to do. So guess what? Because Dwayne Vaz is doing that and it bothers them, I am going to start highlighting more of his videos. Because Desmond McKenzie cannot come and tell us a date. So for what? It was like 3 weeks ago, only 4 more bases though. We don't have the money, we don't have everything. What is taking so long? Oh, is it the intention of the government to continue suffering the people within these constituencies because they didn't vote for them? So they give up on life? Is the aim subtle genocide or for the people to actually just move from out of the area so they can have the lands them? What is it? I am going to ask that question. I'm going to continue to ask that question. Something is fundamentally wrong. We are in June. This is the hurricane season. As soon as the bases are finished, that's the best you can do. But come out talking about this government, and puffing your chest, this government is garbage.
As sponsors, persons who
this
came
government?
because they're benefiting from the free Wi-Fi.
It's
Good
graceful,
afternoon to you all. It is wonderful to be here today because the importance of this event, as the word states, is to connect everybody. And I think it was after Hurricane Melissa in this constituency and parish where people realized that they were taking connectivity for granted. Because when you're used to having something around you at home or on the street, you don't understand the importance of it.
Until it's
gone. When we lost connectivity the other day, and persons had to be scampering and wondering how to get some connection. We were running and finding places where we had some Starlink where we can get some connection to people around to just let them know what is happening. It showed how important it is to be connected. And what the Universal Service Fund is doing for communities across the parish is to give us free Wi-Fi where we can go in our communities and connect without having to pay any form of money. So when you used to have to pay for your phone bill and you don't have the credit on your phone, the free Wi-Fi is there to keep you connected, whether you're in school, whether you're at work, whether you're doing business in the community. You will have that level of connection to keep you going. So you have to understand how important it is. And I know the students enjoy it. I know the business people enjoy it. I know the workers enjoy it. And we just have to ensure we support the Universal Service Fund as they continue to build out in more communities and in more towns. Because we know Westmoreland will be getting a lot more than we have gotten so far. And I'm banking on the CEO, who is my Bridget Charlton, to ensure that every nook and cranny across the parish of Westmoreland becomes connected because we understand the importance of keeping the connection with the residents across the constituency. So thank you again for having me, and we look forward to whatever we have to offer today because we know that this is very important and we know that we'll continue to build from strength to strength as we get back Westmoreland to where we know it should be. I thank you very much.
Tell you, man, I do an excellent job, man. Big up Mr. Dwayne Vaz, you know. 1 second on my side. 1 second. Ooh, Lord of mercy. Where there? Here it is. Alright, so something we need to find. I don't know. Where is it? There's a clip of Desmond McKenzie where somebody put out when him at Parliament. I wonder if I this a phone I dip on. I search for that clip then I want it, you know. Desmond McKenzie say PMP we must work together and what? PMP when they become government in 2040. I say, Kuya. That's why I want the People's National Party continue to apply the pressure on behalf of the people. Don't ease up. Don't. Me no business what the JLP wants to say, brother. Me want to know if it turn up his stove on them blouse and skirt. Because them are wicked. See it up, me find it. Me find it. Big up Freedom. Bridging your name Freedom. Freedom Project JA. Zine Adem. Me see post up the video. On them TikTok. Big up Freedom Project JA. You can check them out if you don't use TikTok here. But me have to highlight this. Trust me. I couldn't. And guys, you guys need to subscribe to all of my channels, you know. All of them. Bolo TBV, Bolo VNR, especially Bolo VNR and Bolo TBV. I need you guys to go and subscribe to those channels. I want to get the subscription up. A lot of the times, because I'm having notification issues, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of persons that are subscribed to me not getting notifications, I really need you guys to subscribe to every single channel so I can mitigate or eliminate most of that problem. You understand? And for the persons that watch me, liking and sharing the video, it is everything. Given the challenge that is happening with the channel. Every day people subscribe, but for some reason they don't get notifications, and I can't do nothing about it more than what I'm doing. You understand? I pray about it, all of these things, right? I can't do nothing else about it, ladies and gentlemen, right? I don't know what they're using. I don't know if they're using them technology. I don't know what them are doing. You understand? And the way how I see things going, right? Because I'm observing other channels, and I'm seeing where those channels are also subtly being, yeah, so I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You can't see the numbers. I'm not going to name the channel, but you can't see the numbers is dipping. You can't see the numbers is dipping, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So, yes, my side. So I found the Desmond McKenzie clip. The audacity of this man. 1 second. The audacity of this man. Yeah, I like when me find the thing that I'm referencing. See it, yeah? Alright, so let me share it to cap off this particular reaction because we're 37 minutes already. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen, from Desmond McKenzie. The audacity.
Remember last week speaking about increasing the fines and doing all that is necessary. Yes, that is good. But the country needs to have a social call on the state of how we are disposing of garbage. And I'm using this presentation today to ask us to put aside our political differences and let us unite and campaign in making Jamaica a cleaner and a better country. Because if you understand eventually by 2040 to become the government, 2040. And let me say this, I remember last week, presentation today to ask us to put aside our political differences and let us unite and campaign in making Jamaica a cleaner and a better country. Because if you understand eventually by 2040 to become the government, 2040, you will still have the garbage problems. We need to unite on this one. And I call on members, not just in the political arena, but right across Jamaica, for this consciousness of mine, for us to do.
So you heard that garbage, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that garbage. That eventually the People's National Party, when they come into power 2040, they will still have a garbage problem. The only garbage problem we have is what is coming out of his mouth. Outside of the more obvious garbage problem. 2040. So on the things say God got allow you to use on the systems on have in place to continue for thief election. And I mean say that's what thus saith the Lord. You understand? So the secrets of heart has been exposed as to how you guys continue to stay into power. But that chain shall be broken. The shackles that you don't have Jamaica under. Because you, Desmond McKenzie, are the one who said, you will not surrender Jamaica to the People's National Party. Talking about 2040. Can you imagine? So him in a himself thinks that them have everything so locked, so confident that, let me see, 2030, 2 more terms? Lost him mind, the devil is a liar. Anyway, we just still want to share that to you upon that reaction and let me know what you think in the comment section. If you made it to the end of this reaction, you are the boss. Big up yourself, yeah? Wall it for love. Man, the people who watch your whole life video, they have to give them props, man. Anyway, Yes, just remember, I wanted to share this clip. Ladies and gentlemen. I go find the clips still enough. When I couldn't find, eventually I go find it, trust me. But I just can't find it on phone time because, you know, I have to make sure say I respect the people in time, is it? It's not like you guys have to watch me. You have many different platforms you can go and watch. And I'm sure there's a lot of different platforms that are live right now. So we appreciate you guys, you know, being here and seeing the value of the platform. You get me? And the conversation. Is it Team PMP? I think it's Team PMP. Why is it not typing though? Something is wrong. Let me refresh it.
Good morning, one and all. This is your...
I have to refresh it because I don't know what's happening. Team PMP. There's another video that was posted on Team PMP. Is it this one?
That you've been expressing. This so in the context of
No, I don't. I went over that already. That's not the one. I think this is the one. Yeah, I think this is the one.
but given the concern that you've been expressing, this so in the context of the projects we've heard announced from government in terms of infrastructure work, in terms of housing, in terms of relief, has there been, what should I say, a real attempt at engaging government on the concern?
My major issue, my issue with NARA, as I was saying to a few of the government members, we don't oppose to the NARA legislation. You know. We're asking for certain safeguards within the legislation, and I'm asking for certain components that I think are missing. For example, I'm not seeing anywhere in the legislation that it speaks about putting back houses in place for these persons that I have within the constituency that are currently homeless, that have to be relying on the benevolence of others. I've not seen anything in there to address those issues. I'm not seeing anything to say that we're going to do low-income houses and this is where we're going to do them. This is what we're going to do to ensure that we build them in a resilient way so that they're not at risk and vulnerable from even a Category 3 hurricane. The structures that people have been forced to rebuild. If you have a hurricane, even Category 1, we're going to have problems because they literally had to just make a makeshift thing so that they could get back some shelter above their heads. I don't think that is sufficient.
So what's your frame of mind facing this hurricane season?
Prayerful. I'm really hoping and praying that we will not have a hurricane because I do not think that the constituency will be able to manage it.
And you, in one word?
Praying for the best. Hoping that we don't have a hurricane, but if we do have that, by the grace of God, some miracle will happen and we'll be spared.
Okay, and I think the entire Jamaica would agree with that. We certainly want Jamaica to be spared. You know, we do hear it's a below average season, but as we all know, it only takes one. So let's hope we don't even get that one. All right, gonna leave it there. We are out of time.
God is not with this government, unfortunately. So not even prayer can help Jamaica. You remember good. And that's a thus saith the Lord. That's not Bolo. That's not me being a pessimist. That's me being a realist to the word of God. Ivan said, no Bolo. Him just tell upon himself. 2040, 20 years JLP could not fix garbage problem. Shame. You know, that's a great way to look at it. You just give me an idea of that. Me I go big up right now. Yes, I go big up right now. Let me go back to that video. That's an excellent point by Ivan. Man just tell about himself a while ago for real. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Let me say this, I remember last week speaking up.
He just told on himself. That's crazy. That's crazy. He sure told on himself. Man. Mighty God. Hold on there. That's it. Wonderful. Alright. People, remember, I'm the engineer now. I do everything at once when I'm doing my live on OBS. Everything. So sometimes it's not as, but I think I work fast enough. There's other times when I'm searching for stuff and I multitask while I'm playing something and but yeah. Thank you for your patience, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this one. This is going to be a short video. I want to play something for you because Yvonne Green in the chat just highlighted something very significant. Listen to Desmond McKenzie.
Let me say this, I remember last week speaking about increasing the fines and doing all that is necessary. Yes, that is good, but the country needs to have a social call on the state of how we are disposing of garbage. And I'm using this presentation today to ask us to put up.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure if my microphone was on. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing a short video. I want you to listen to Desmond McKenzie real quick. Yeah, listen to this. Yvonne Green just pointed out something. Listen to this.
Let me say this, I remember last week speaking about increasing the fines and doing all that is necessary. Yes, that is good, but the country needs to have a social call on the state of how we are disposing of garbage. And I'm using this presentation today to ask us to put aside our political differences and let us unite and campaign in making Jamaica a cleaner and a better country. Because if you understand eventually by 2040 become the government, 2040, you will still have the garbage problems.
So you heard Desmond McKenzie, ladies and gentlemen. By 2040, they will still have the problems. They will still have the problems. So he's saying that as a government, and Yvonne Green pointed this out, as a government, the JLP would be in power till 2040. And the same garbage problem will exist. So they need the People's National Party to hold their hand because they're incompetent enough. So he thought he was throwing shots at the People's National Party, but he's admitting that they are a failure. Man, this is some embarrassing stuff, bro. Lord of mercy.
Fully done. Emotional damage.
Embarrassing.
We need some milk. What can go so?
All of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Shout out to Yvonne Green in the chat.
The truth is the light.
Shout out to Yvonne Green in the chat, man. She just pointed that out and I said, you know what? I'm going to make a short video and post it on my TikTok and my YouTube. Desmond McKenzie just exposed himself and his government as a total failure and an incompetent government, because if the People's National Party don't join hands with them and hold their hands, they will not be able to fix the garbage problem in Jamaica. That is some sad stuff, bro. That is some sad stuff. Jamaica, y'all choose Jamaica. That's what y'all did. Y'all choose the Jamaica Labour Party. They didn't put the Jamaica Labour Party part about choosing Jamaica. Crazy, bro. Yo, man, listen, big up yourself, Ivan. I'm definitely posting that one. Anyway, moving right along. Let's continue. Share my screen again. Go to these. Go to these. Go to these. Go to these. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where is the clippings? Where did they go? Ah, there they go. Found them.
Just not ready. The sentiments of some Westmoreland. We are just not ready. The sentiments of some Westmoreland residents as they contemplate on what lies ahead this hurricane season. Now we visited sections of eastern Westmoreland where the eye of Hurricane Melissa made landfall last year. And from all indications, there's great anxiety among residents. Here's Kimberly Petty with that report. This is the lived reality for some residents in eastern Westmoreland, where the eye of the hurricane passed over just 7 months ago. From tarpaulins to tents, they are displaced. And with June 1 being the start of the hurricane season, many of them are worried. Forecasters are predicting a below average hurricane season with a possibility of 8 to 14 named storms. Of those, 3 to 6 are forecast to become hurricanes, including 1 to 3 major hurricanes. But if any of these systems were to hit Jamaica, there are a group of residents in Westmoreland who are at risk of being in the same position, or even worse, than they were when Hurricane Melissa hit last year. This tent is where O'Brien Green, a resident of Belmont in Bluefields, calls home. This has been his new reality ever since Hurricane Melissa destroyed his house 7 months ago. Here he squeezes himself in as he showed us where he lays his head nightly.
Well, I come out of it on the head. Take me leave. I tap on first. I can't need the tree. Yeah. So I need some help.
Carlton Lawson has been living in this courthouse for years, but Melissa's wrath has left it in a horrifying state. Fallen doors, wrecked furniture, forcing him to live under his neighbor's cellar.
Bad man, I'm not gonna like that. You know, so me have my place and I lose it. So at least, as me say, any assistant come up forward and I love it. I see it to God.
We also met Maxine Lawson. Scrolling through her messages has become a new pastime. She's been anxiously awaiting a notification about her application for a roof grant.
I'm feeling very sad, very not able to finance my problem with my house. Really don't have that help, and not working at the moment.
And for those who can't wait, they've opted to take materials from the hardware on credit, even without knowing how they'll make the payments. They're, however, clinching to hope that everything will work out.
So I have to trust some material to help me and go on, tell them know what can happen otherwise. So we want some help from somewhere or another, if they want to do it. But I'm wishing and hoping that something might happen.
The residents were hoping that they...
No, Jamaica, just like how the people can trust the hardware, you don't think the government can trust the hardware too and get the goods them to the people on time. Knowing so them have $1.44 billion to them. Let me tell you this, and I can tell man about bureaucracy. Hey, you see you're gonna do one next video, because them money have pissed me off, You're gonna do one next video. Them money have pissed me off. Jamaica, I have to do one next video, one next short video. Wanna listen to this? Something just come to me a while ago. The people in my Westmoreland, mighty God, them I got you. Wanna listen to this?
Oh, that man, I love it. I see it to God.
Tap on first. I can't need the tree. Yeah. So I need some help.
Carlton Lawson has been living in this courthouse for years, but Melissa's wrath has left it in a horrifying state. Fallen doors, wrecked furniture, forcing him to live under his neighbor's cellar.
Bad man, I'm not gonna like that. So I have my place and I lose it. So at least, as me say, any assistant come up forward and I love it. I see it to God.
We also met Maxine Lawson. Scrolling through her messages has become a new pastime. She's been anxiously awaiting a notification about her application for a roof grant.
I'm feeling very sad, very not able to finance my problem with my house. Really don't have that help, and not working at the moment.
And for those who can't wait, they've opted to take materials from the hardware on credit, even without knowing how they'll make the payments. They're, however, clinching to hope that everything will work out.
So I have to trust some material to help me and go on, tell them know what can happen otherwise. So we want some help from somewhere or another, if they want to do it. So I'm wishing and hoping that something might happen.
The residents were hoping.
So, two things, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, you have to say this gentleman, this elder can go to the hardware and actually get credit. And the government of Jamaica couldn't use them brain with the $1.44 billion where them have them only spend 1.8% after 7 months. You're telling me them use bureaucracy as to be blamed as to, oh, you know, this is the reason why we never did. So you're telling me, say you couldn't go to the hardware them and say, you are going. We need some material to help these people because I'm in need. These persons are going into the hurricane season in this condition. You know? You're telling me that we never could have used a brain and have some care and empathy for the people to say, yo, speed is important, so you are going. We are going to do this. When we get the money cleared, we don't now worry ourselves. Remember, so we have $1.44 billion sitting down pretty where people give them donation for help people just like this. That government, you want wicked black government, you know. And Mal and Magan, you want clown, you know. You want evil clown, you know. You want, yo, listen to me, man. Come on TV, I come talk about, oh, you know, that's why we need Nara. Rubbish! Absolute rubbish. Don't make them come tell them no foolishness. Tired of them now, man. Wicked no blouse and skirt. Can you imagine? Look how that old man can go to this and say, all right, I get some credit. But you, the government, couldn't get make some arrangement with the hardware them to make the people and get some help so them have a roof over their head till this thing, you know, the season, knowing so the season not come up for fast track the thing and help the people them. You already got the money to help them, right? Say, all right, you know, so we have $1 billion left in our account. How much them are gonna need? All right, so we have this ability to pay for this company. We have that ability to pay for this company. We have that ability. All right, we know so we still have some more money. Who else need help? Oh, that old lady over there need something. All right, yeah, man, give them, man. We have the money, man. Or yourself. Who next? Them two people there. Yes, man, give them right out that the money there because they. Where the man them brain there, bro? Where the man them brain them? I don't understand. The money is here, but you blame bureaucracy. And the people need help. That's why I'm telling you, I am going to forever say I am standing on this hill where I believe these people want these people to pass away and die. Or move from where them there because they want to land them. That is what I believe. That's what I believe in my heart of hearts. I'm telling you. There's no other explanation for how the man deal with the people. Is either they want them to dead or they want them to move away from where they are. See, it's called subtle genocide and gentrification. So they can build a smart city. That's what I believe. Right? And nobody can come tell me otherwise to how the man move like the man move lethargic. And I cry like a snail to help the people. Look power that I'm doing for us exposed. See, there's one Mackenzie I can tell you say, as soon as the something finish, them are gonna do that. No piping no do yet, you know. No sewage no do yet, you know. You tell me say the man them the base already, you can't start the piping for them, they can't start it. Yeah, that you tell me say. They can't multitask. First we're gonna do the base. The Flintstone government. Jamaica, they are not incompetent, they are evil and they are wicked. They are doing this on purpose. They are doing this on purpose. When they're blind, they're supposed to sit them and do it on purpose. When them evil, man. Evil court now have water around out pipe. Even the courts don't have water running out the pipe. The judge have to fix the roof. Delroy Chuck, what a disgrace. The man them terrible, man. The man them get out on Jamaica. I'm not telling no lie. They get out on. I didn't come here today to where I deal with Goldmouth, big up yourself. Goldmouth, yeah, I want to be day one day, you have to come over Bolo VNR 2.0, bro. And that's the action there, you know, you can, you know, check out the many options available in terms of becoming a member of the platform and all of that good stuff over there. Yeah? Yeah, man, Bolo VNR 2.0.
The government says medical students studying in Cuba now have the option of continuing their studies locally. The announcement was made at today's post-cabinet press briefing.
Hard hardship and strife, the circumstances facing thousands of Cubans after the recent oil blockade imposed by the United States. It has resulted in nationwide power cuts, a crumbling health sector, while a growing list of companies, hotels included, are withdrawing or limiting their operations in the country. Jamaican students studying in Cuba have been appealing for a lifeline. On Wednesday, Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith announced the University of the West Indies, UWI Mona, and the Caribbean School of Nursing at the University of Technology, UTech, have agreed to accommodate eligible students seeking to continue their education locally.
Placement must depend on your academic qualification or what you have accomplished, what you have learned, and that is usually demonstrated in the form of transcripts. And universities also, of course, require students' ability to pay applicable fees.
The government, she says, remains prepared to airlift the students from
pay applicable fees. Do you know the reason why those students go to Cuba is because they get a cheaper alternative for education? So again, the government is not facilitating them monetarily, you know. They have to pay them own not fees. Why you think them they are Cuba in the first place? Mighty God, let's continue.
Cuba to Jamaica on a one-way flight.
We have advised our students of this, subject to the availability of flights and timing. We have advised them, and to date, no student has asked us for assistance with departure. We understand some of the privately funded students may have left and not notified us formally. This therefore allows for us to have a less than perfect understanding of the numbers that are present, but we continue to encourage them to let us know so that we have the best understanding of the student population present.
So Kamina Johnson-Smith, you better hear us tell the student them say, listen, something gonna happen and that's why you need to come home now. You better them tell them that because we have never seen this urgency from you before and you talk and a stutter. Mighty God.
As construction activities intensify following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa, a new building code is expected for Jamaica by March 2027. Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement during his contribution to the sectoral debate today. We have the details from Andrea Chisholm.
The World Bank estimates that Hurricane Melissa caused $8.8 billion of physical damage to Jamaica. People have begun to rebuild, but the aim is to build back stronger, improve standards, and increase resilience. To help make that happen, a new building code will be rolled out in this fiscal year.
A critical feature of the new building code is that buildings are to be constructed to withstand Category 5 hurricanes. There will be stronger enforcement powers for municipal corporations, mandatory compliance checks and stricter penalties for illegal construction, especially in high-risk zones, Madam Speaker.
More building officers will be employed as the Finance Ministry has approved the revised establishment. Between January and March this year, close to 1,400 building applications were submitted, valuing $68.8 billion.
More people are applying for building permits to ensure that structural integrity of their projects. The most significant increase of 11% was in building applications for small residential development under 300 square meters in size.
And amidst constant complaints about poor garbage collection, the National Solid Waste Management Authority is pushing to collect waste every 7 to 10 days.
Last year alone, the agency served over 2,000 anti-litter tickets. Over 9,000 removals were issued. It's a problem that we have, and it's a problem that we must deal with. And that is why the NSWMA has a special education program in this financial year at a cost of over $200 million that will be used to sensitize the country as it relates to our garbage problems. And I'm hoping that we will get the buy-in of every member of this House.
Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
So in a year, new building code, right? Category what? Withstand category 5. Well, I'm wondering why they never implement that from after Hurricane Melissa. But who am I? Who am I, ladies and gentlemen? Who am I? Who am I? Let's continue.
This is me on day one since my son made me switch from running to.
In the meantime, opposition spokesperson on justice, Sulika Jess, also used a section of her sectorial presentation to Parliament to highlight the Integrity Commission's report on the FLA.
That report tabled yesterday found that the Firearm Licensing Authority, under the watch of its Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Shane Dallin, presided over a vault where ammunition belonging to private citizens went missing. A computer system that was deliberately manipulated to destroy the livelihood of a licensed dealer using the identity of a man who was already dead. And the server whose catastrophic failure brilliantly erased the very evidence that would have identified who gave the order. Madam Speaker, a man who runs an authority where the dead are used to falsify records, where vault doors cannot account for what is inside them, and where evidence disappears without consequence, has no business holding public office.
That's right. That's right. That's right. The People's National Party therefore calls unequivocally and without reservation for Mr. Shane Dallin to resign immediately. Without fear or favor, we are called upon Shane Dallin to resign immediately. And it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. It's not a done business. The FID president, Andrew Holness Bridging, now this brother Shane Dallin, when me hear say him run for office 2 times for the Jamaica Labour Party in a some councillor level, and then this come up on him profile. No man. Enough I liberate them now, man. Some people need to start our prison and get locked up. Enough of them now, man. Them are going to bad Jamaica. The man them are tear down the very reputation of the country just by being in office. Just by being there, you know. The man them are destroy your reputation, you know. Just understand what me I say. Mighty God, no sir. Can't work, Jamaica. Can't work. Can't work. You see me? Let's continue. We have some serious topics, man.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
We begin this evening with a Primetime News follow-up. The People's National Party is demanding the immediate resignation of the Chief Executive Officer of the Firearm Licensing Authority, Shane Dallin.
The opposition is also calling for an independent investigation into all matters identified in the Integrity Commission report, which was tabled in Parliament yesterday.
We have the details in this report.
The Integrity Commission's report into the operations of the Firearm Licensing Authority highlighted serious weaknesses in inventory management and several discrepancies, including poor record keeping. It is for this reason the opposition People's National Party believes FLA CEO Shane Dallin must go.
The investigation confirms a fundamental breakdown of law, of order, and public trust at the very agency responsible for regulating deadly weapons in Jamaica. No head of entity, in this case the CEO, who presides over falsified records, missing ammunition, and conveniently destroyed evidence can remain in place.
Pointing to the announcement by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang that the FLA is tightening its firearm and ammunition storage and operational procedures, the PNP argues that this response is wholly insufficient.
Any attempt by this government to protect and preserve the CEO in his post will only serve to signal their own complicity in these confirmed failures that impacts the security of every single Jamaican.
The PNP is also demanding a comprehensive and fully independent investigation into all matters identified in the Integrity Commission report with findings made public. McKinsey Robinson, TVJ News.
Read out loud. Away there. Away there. Oh.
eGleaner Classifieds mobile apps. Sign in, subscribe now. Editorial Let Our Set Fares. Updated 16 hours ago, 3-minute read. Daryl Vaz's announcement of a 2-stanza increase in bus and taxi fares was, in part, the minister's attempt at an illusionist trick that made inevitable the frustration and cynicism that have been displayed by transport operators. The development again highlights the need for a new system outside the realm of political consideration or control for the determination and regulation of transportation fares. It also further underlines the recent suggestion by the Gleaner's editorial board that Minister Vaz move with urgency in drafting and publishing of his promised national transportation policy. The illusionist bit, the 16% hike in fares, which is to be implemented in 2 tranches. The first 8% came into force on June 2nd. The second portion will take effect on July 1st, is not new. It is over 2 years late, which is part of a pattern of how the government, across political administrations, has managed rate increases to private operators of public transportation. For instance, for 8 years, up to 2021, the island's bus and taxi operators did not receive an official fare increase. Any adjustments were of their own doing, to which the authorities largely turned a blind eye. In August of that year, transport operators were finally granted a 15% upward adjustment, with the understanding that another 10% would follow in 2022. The second tranche never came. 2 years later, in October 2023, the government approved a 35% fare hike, again to be introduced in 2 tranches. The first 19% took effect at the time of the announcement. The remaining 16% was to be implemented on April 1st, 2024, coinciding with the start of the new fiscal year. However, before the second adjustment happened, Transport Minister Vaz and the then Finance Minister, Nigel Clark, leaned on the operators of buses and taxis to hold strain. Dr. Clark argued that the freeze was necessary to contain inflation, then galloping at 10%, within the central bank's target of 4 to 6%. Transport operators grumbled but complied. Many intensified their cutting of corners. Fare reductions.
And that's the problem with the Jamaican people. You guys grumble. Winifred, big up yourself. You guys grumbled and then complied. And that's what the Jamaica Labour Party government banks on all the time. You see, in some places in the world, man, some things the government go on, this government, they would never survive Jamaica. They couldn't live in the country if they were to deal with people in other countries the way how they deal with us here. Them have to run away. I tell you all the while, we need to look on the other places around the world, get acclimated what is happening around the world with these other countries. Nobody now say, we don't have to analyze nobody and them something, but we don't have to put your foot down. You are in a pressure cooker, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? I'm not fighting one of the people here trying to stand up for the most vulnerable. The People's National Party is doing their job, and there's others on the internet doing their job, and here you come. Here you come, ladies and gentlemen, the ones that attack people for trying to stand up for the most vulnerable. What is wrong with all of you that do that crazy stuff? I don't get it. Madness, man.
Yet, at the same time, the administration implemented fare reductions of up to 50 per for buses operated by the government's Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, adding another 2 billion Jamaican dollars to the 11 billion Jamaican dollars that taxpayers...
So now, them raise the bus fare for regular taxi, and then them carrying for them bus them now from the government and drop the fare them and send them on a certain route. I take on the business and I take on the livelihood, I think there was some protest about it, and then them have to push that back. But it shows you the intent. Me say, this government is operating in such a way that you will have nothing. You will own nothing in Jamaica ever. Not if you own a business where you try You go some pops and you spend the money, you got the car mat, you take out one car and you put it on the road and you take time pay for it. You won't even be able to do that to elevate yourself under this government. The way how they're moving, mark my words. But them not have much time left, you know. And God I go deal with them, you know. Yes, man, me tell you all the while, you know, the only reason why me calm, you know, is because I know that there's a God, you know. Under normal circumstances, if there was no God, we would have to do something. Yeah, we would have to do something, ladies and gentlemen. If God did not exist, we would have to do something. And I'm talking about something drastic too. Because these people are literally cutting off our limbs, limb by limb, finger by finger, and watch we are bleed out, figuratively. In the way how they're governing the country. In the way how they're putting pressure on the poor. And it's no joke. It's no joke.
Taxpayers already provided to the company. For the current fiscal year, JATC is projected to run a deficit of 18.8 billion Jamaican dollars, before a direct injection of 11.1 billion Jamaican dollars that will lower its reported loss to 7.7 billion Jamaican dollars. While this week's 16% fare increase is, in effect, a long overdue payment, in real terms, transport operators are getting less than what they are owed. The increase does not factor in inflation, measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, for the past 2 fiscal years. According to the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, for the fiscal year that ended March 31st, consumer prices rose 4.3%, following a 5% hike the previous fiscal year. There is, of course, the compounding effect of these upward movement in prices, which have been further impacted by recent rises in energy and commodity prices because of the US/Israeli war on Iran. There is little doubt that Jamaica's private bus and taxi operators provide a mostly undisciplined and largely ramshackle service. They often endanger the lives of commuters and other road users. Route taxis notoriously bore and jostle and disobey most traffic rules in their hustle for fares. It is not without merit to argue that this behavior is partly a response to the economic environment in which transport operators have been forced to operate by fare freezes. In any event, uneconomic fares make it harder for the authorities to impose discipline on the system. Tiptoed. Governments and opposition parties have tiptoed around the issues for fear of upsetting 2 important voting constituencies: the more than 30,000 registered taxi and bus operators and their families, and the hundreds of thousands of commuters who use public transportation daily. This is apparent in the messy fare-setting regime that the government has used since the 2010s. It is also evidenced in the gobbledygook of a statement issued this week by the opposition spokesman for transport, Michael Phillips, attempting to be seen as promoting the interests and commuters and transport operators. Instead, Mr. Phillips said little that was sensible. There is much to be sorted.
I wish you got this. I will write the article here. Editorial. We mean he said there's little him said that's sensible. Oh, what kind of madness this? I must want let me see what I'm gonna say. What? Let me listen to your side. I almost done.
Sorted out in public transport, which makes Mr. Vaza's green paper urgent. In the meantime, to prevent or contain the political impulses that have propelled the freezes and reneging on commitments that have been features of recent fare adjustments, the fare-setting process should be returned to the Office of Utilities Regulation, R, which should make rational adjustments based credible economic information within specified timeframes. If after an our determination the government wishes to provide subsidies to transport operators on the basis that their service is a critical public good, then so be it. But asking private transport operators to subsidize commuters, which is the real effect of fare freezes, is not the way of markets. Popular News, March 2026. Marcia Skyers James.
Yeah, let me look. I'm going to listen back to what Mr. Monday said. What Mr. Michael Phillips said about this thing here with Darren Vaz. Cause this person say a nonsense in my talk. I could go listen. Person will write that, say a nonsense in my talk. I could go listen. So we go to work in Jamaica. See it, yeah? Found it.
This is Michael Phillips, the opposition spokesman on transport. And I must speak plainly to every Jamaican who depends on public transport to get to work, to school, and back home. The government has once again resorted to gimmicks, and this two-phase fare increase announced today by the Minister of Transport is proof that there is still no transport policy guiding this administration. What we witnessed was deeply unusual and disrespectful to commuters and operators. A new fare was announced to take immediate effect, yet the Transport Authority was never notified, and no new fare table was gazetted. How does any government implement a fare increase without first telling the public what those fares actually are? This has simply never happened before in the history of public passenger vehicle services in Jamaica. Commuters, including our children, were asked to pay one fare to work and school and a higher fare to come home. That is unacceptable. 2 weeks ago in my sectoral presentation, I have proposed assigning fare setting to the Office of Utilities Regulation. I intend to seek legal advice regarding the unusual implementation that took place today. I'm also calling on the government to conduct and publish an impact assessment of these new fares on travel costs across both the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region and rural operations. Crawling fare increase brings only hardship, not only to the commuting public, but also to operators. Jamaicans deserve better.
Visit our website at pnp.org.ja.
So, where was the nonsense in what Mr. Phillips said? Want to see how them people in them media space expose themselves? Whoever name is attached to that article? Lame, bro. I don't see what you are sis. I don't see what you talking about. I know say Orange Chang defends the FLA leadership amid the Integrity Commission report. Shameful. It tells you where we are, ladies and gentlemen. It tells you where we are. But I'm not going to go over that again. Civil Service Union press government to settle claims or risk further action. Let's look into this because I didn't get to read this article.
eGleaner classifieds mobile apps. Sign in, subscribe now. Latest news, sports, business. Civil Service Union presses government to settle claims or risk further action. Updated 1 day ago, 1 minute read. The Jamaica Civil Service Association, JCSA, has warned that thousands of government workers could consider further action if issues related to traveling allowances and wage talks remain unresolved. Public servants cannot continue to shoulder rising costs while waiting indefinitely for the settlement of legitimate claims, President Tekka Clark-Griffith said. The union said it is urging the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to immediately engage with the trade union movement to bring both the traveling allowance claim and the wage negotiations to a fair and timely conclusion. Failure to do so will only deepen dissatisfaction within the public service and may compel workers and their representatives to consider further action, the JCSA added, noting that the travel allowance claim has been before the government since 2024. What? The association represents more than 30,000 public sector workers. It said workers required to travel for their duties have been absorbing an unsustainable financial burden as commuting costs, vehicle maintenance, and transportation expenses have risen sharply during the period the claims have gone unresolved. The deteriorating condition of roadways has compounded the problem, the JCSA said, accelerating vehicle wear and tear and driving up out-of-pocket costs for affected workers. Separately, the union flagged the unresolved salary claim submitted by the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, saying workers were still awaiting a satisfactory wage settlement at a time when inflation and the rising cost of living were eroding their purchasing power. The JCSA's warning lands against a backdrop of broader concern about the pace of public sector wage negotiations. The Independent Fiscal Commission, in its fiscal performance report released this week, flagged the persistent misalignment between wage negotiations and the budget cycle as a significant structural risk, noting that wages and salaries had climbed to 54.4% of tax revenue, up from 47.9% the previous year. The JCCA said it remained committed to constructive dialogue, but was equally resolute in defending its members' interests. The JCSA firmly maintains that public servants should not be expected to subsidize government services from their personal resources while waiting for legitimate claims to be settled, the association said.
All right. See what I go on for X. Holding revive impeachment legislation. What is this? JLP woman were all out last week condemning what Nikki said in an interview. Today, they have a councillor fighting staff at the municipal corporation. Oh, hell no. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Woo! Yo, this is the type of stuff that make me laugh, bro. Oh, my days. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You gots to be more careful. Ain't that something, guys? Ain't that something? Gots to be more careful. Hey, Elga, what's up? Stop the warning and take action. Who must stop the warning and take action? Egla? Who must stop the warning and take action? I don't understand the statement. Please explain. I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying. Who must stop the warning and take action? Please let me know. Please let me know. Let's see what I'm going to say. 1 minute video. PNL Popeye. New links. I wonder who this now. Whoa. Obviously there was a scuffle there. Some type of scuffle. Phone they are ground or upon decks or somewhere. What really have going there, so? But it's not safe. It's not safe at all, Jamaica. What is actually happening in this country? What is going on? What is going on? Alright, so let me remember so my microphone can pick up loud noises here. I just have to tell you careful what you say. Alright, so let me go to this now. I just caught this a while ago, ladies and gentlemen. I buck up in it.
You will lick me cross me.
Whoa, wait, what? Alright, I'm definitely gonna react to this. Sassy81, what's up? I didn't see you there, sweetie. Oh my god, shout out to Sassy81. The workers who have been waiting on their money. Oh, I got you. That makes a lot of sense. Shout out to Sassy81, man. Damn, I missed her. I wasn't seeing the comments. I was not seeing the comments. Shout out to Sassy81, man. Shout out to Sassy81. Man. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this. This is very interesting. This is Rampanzi Pizza on TikTok, on Twitter, sorry. So JLP women were all out last week condemning what Nikisha Burchell said in an interview. Today, they have a councillor fighting staff at the municipal corporation in St. Anne. Rated Kim Brown Lawrence charged with Ruel Reed was allowed to represent the JLP. These people are not to be taken seriously. So when was this? Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
So, miss, you will lick me across my face. Sorry, excuse. Sorry. She's over this other office. Miss, you can repeat what you just said. Yes. Oh, I want it. Yes. No, I don't know her. She come, she gonna lick me across my face and teeth. I didn't know. Oh! So Kim Brown Lawrence get boxed in her face with you, allegedly. What the hell is going on in Jamaica? What can go so? And I in the well, you know say all of them are JLP, so you know it go. So where's the love between the women? Where's the respect? It get physical? The audacity of you guys talking about Nikisha Burchell's statement and her opinion about the Speaker of the House, which was accurate, by the way. Mighty God. Jamaica, when you walk around, I can't go about my business here. Look more on my side. Look more. Alright? Big up on yourself. Mighty God. Later, yeah. People, a Friday, the word is love. Look more. See you guys later on tonight, alright? There's a lot for me to cover. I catch me, I catch up. I catch me, I catch up. Whole heap for me cover. I catch me, I catch up. Catch me, I catch up my side. Trust me. So later on tonight, we at it again. I don't know about coming live on all of these platforms. This was a test. I'll only do this. I'll only do it in like the day, like in the evenings. But at night, I don't think there's that much of an audience out there at night that I watch. Because even sometime in the evening, like this evening, I can't believe say the viewership is what it is today. On Bolo VNR 2.1 and Bolo VNR clips. Bolo TBV, you're going good. You're going good. I tell you, you're going good. I don't expect much from Bolo TBV because it was a channel that was not being used. But for a channel that is used every day like Bolo VNR clips and Bolo VNR 2.0, I just don't understand why YouTube is doing this to my channel. You know what I mean? I really don't understand why they're doing this to my channel. It's clear to me now that they are restricting my channel in some capacity, like them a punish me. I don't know where them get the order from. If them get the order, I don't know. But well, hopefully things change. What am I gonna do? So pick up on yourself there, man. Sooner or later. I'm out. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for sharing. The word is love. Bye. Bye, y'all.